Is it live?
Yeah, we live.
Man, you know it take 20 years for it to pop up. It's still Google. But there you go. Now I want to show. Google, come on, man. Still 5 years and y'all ain't fix y'all junk. I'm calling out Skype too, man. Y'all should have been fix y'all junk.
I don't know when they're gonna fix it.
Never, because they say, "Oh, see, we giving y'all free." See, that's how they do it. That's how they do it in this world, man. These days. Oh, yeah, since y'all get it for free, yeah. Oh yeah, bro, free. We pay for enough junk. I mean, the fact that y'all got contracts with Android. I don't want to hear free. Out of here, bro. Out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that noise. Fuck that noise.
So
So what's good?
my thing is, I wanted to talk about, you know, the influence that these manga could have from the real world, and they're bringing it into like manga. Basically, how they started.
Influences, or are they using historical, like more specified for the people and me?
Uh, it could be historic. You don't think that there's mangaka like
One
Kishimoto or One
Ichiro
Piece
Oda,
that use
oh,
live or real world like as of today influence?
Ichiro Oda uses, I mean, just characters. Not only the pirates, and Pharaoh Space did a phenomenal video on real. Some of them I didn't even know. Some of the pirates I didn't even know about, and that's digging deep. He had found it. But even just recent, just look at it. You got in the recent chapters of One Piece, you got Napoleon the Bihorn, Napoleon Bonaparte. Anyway, and it Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar D. Waterloo. Full blown Oda, full use a lot of junk, a lot of history. Oda does it all the time. Oda does it subliminally. He uses a lot of fables. He uses a lot of fairy tales. Oda goes in deep. See, and if you understand that, that's part of the reason why I dismiss a lot of those nonsense quote unquote theories. They're not theories. They're speculations and hypotheses at best. They're a lot of guessing.
Theories about what?
Just theories. What is called theories. Most of them make no sense.
Okay.
Sense. If you understand the context and where Oda is taking from, it makes things a lot simpler. And one of the reasons why a lot of what I predict is accurate. Like I kind of predicted Big Ma'am. For whatever reason, I forget all of the details. I remember a few of them. But I remember going back, this was a few hours ago. I think we were still in Dressrosa early and relatively early. And I said Big Ma'am is pretty much like a Don. She's like a godmother. And if you go back to Fisherman Island, the way that she had her subordinates, they went out, they were talking tributes. Okay. Anyone who knows anything about, especially if you read Mario Puzo's The Godfather, if you don't know anything about the mafia, that gives you a great introduction, and his other two works. The way that she doesn't move. Okay, the Don doesn't move. The Don sits and she's stationed. And there is territory. Just the way that she gave off the impression, it wasn't like a pirate. It was like a Don. She ran it like a mob, like the mafia, which lo and behold, I was right. Oda drops details. Now he'll throw in stuff like current chapter. He threw in the three-eyed whatever. And I actually, even though it's his real life, but it kind of does apply because he's pulling, like Naruto pulled a lot from a lot of philosophy as well, and a lot of series do that. A lot of people are mad. Nico Ramen. See, Oda, on a side note, I think he's learned from guys like Kishimoto and Kubo not to leave plot holes. And a lot of fans complain about, how many times you hear this, Ed? Oh, it's a convenient. Oh, this special person, blah, 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 blah in the world. But then when Oda doesn't do that, what'd you say?
I said a lot.
But when Oda doesn't do that, when Toriko doesn't do that, when various series, then people get mad. Oh, that just diminished the value of the character. No, it doesn't. It just made it realistic. Because think about it, Ed. Okay, we know there's a LeBron James, Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
But you trying to say there's the only one who could be on LeBron James and Michael Jordan in the world? Come on now. Potentially.
Right.
How many? Let's just for the sake of argument, there is over 7 billion people in the world. How many you think potentially could be a Michael Jordan? Potentially, I don't think too many, but
less than 1%.
But even still, less than 1% is, if you take it from 7 billion, that's actually still
It
quite
depends
high.
on what you mean, like Michael Jordan. What do you mean by that?
Like, to get to, they have the natural ability, natural God-given ability, natural God-given talent. You know, if they have the opportunity and have the work, and they have their work ethic, and you know, put in the grind, who could be like him, LeBron James and Kobe, AI, Magic Johnson, the best we can mention.
I think if you're talking about as far as in the world, the chances are very slim to none. If we're talking about in the United States, it's more relevant because of
in the world, includes the United States. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm saying the entire globe.
I'm saying like outside of the United States, the chances of someone being like Michael Jordan is slim to none.
So you're trying to tell me that, for example, let's just pull out a Shaolin monk, doesn't have natural God-given talent, potentially, if it applied to basketball. Look at a guy like, look at a guy like Tim Duncan. Didn't even pick up basketball, right? Didn't even pick up a basketball until he was around, was it 17 or such? He was a swimmer. What did he become?
One of the greats, if not the greatest power forward.
And in my perspective, top 10 of all time.
But yeah, but that's not being like Michael Jordan. That's being Tim Duncan.
Well, okay. I didn't say he had to be exactly in the that's why I brought up LeBron James, a completely different
Even LeBron James is not Michael Jordan. LeBron's going way.
I'm asking them to be a copy.
So you mean
of
in the conversation, like in that type of atmosphere
of great ones.
Okay, yeah, then the chances, the percentage increase. But if you're talking about just being like Michael Jordan, 6 or 6
gonna be
in the NBA Finals,
the closest you're gonna get is Kobe
NBA
Bryant.
Finals doesn't come around that much.
Yeah, the closest you're gonna get is Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan ever,
and he's not even 6 of 6 in the NBA Finals.
No, I'm not asking for him in the NBA Finals. I'm saying as far
as I'm just saying like in terms of what the individual, because you know, as much as basketball tends to glorify individual players, it is a team sport. So
yeah,
Jordan had to have been on that level in order for them to somewhat get to that championship, because he had Pippen too. Pippen was contributing, but Jordan had to elevate the players around him, like they say LeBron is doing.
It's different. It's different. And what it is
like Kobe. I don't think Kobe necessarily had to elevate everybody because they were so good. Shaq is so great that Kobe didn't really have to elevate him.
But it wasn't just Shaq. Everybody tends to forget that. And also Kobe kind of evolved. See, but people forget there were 2 parts of Kobe's career. Or maybe 3 parts if you really want to get down into the nitty-gritty.
Before Shaq, post Shaq. Well, not before Shaq.
There wasn't no before Shaq.
Yeah, like Kobe 81 era, and then Shaq era, and then post Shaq.
No, like Kobe, Shaq. That was Shaq came, I think, in Kobe's second season. Kobe was garbage in his rookie season by NBA standards. He was garbage. Kind of like Peyton Manning was garbage, and Brett Favre was garbage in their rookie seasons. It happens.
Michael Jordan wasn't.
What'd you say?
Michael Jordan wasn't.
Michael Jordan was, and there's a couple reasons why he went third all the time, and I mean third in that draft. But Michael Jordan, the closest thing to Michael Jordan out of nowhere is actually there's you can say 2. Steph's a little, but definitely D Wade. No one, including myself, just same thing with Michael Jordan. No one expected that. We knew they'd be great, but that. No, even Steph Curry, he's in the conversation. No, you couldn't. Even LeBron James is different, but in the conversation as well. No one expected that. What we got. Nobody expected that.
Got out of who?
From MJ, from LeBron, from D Wade, and from Steph Curry.
even MJ dropped 3,000 points his third season in the NBA.
No. What I'm saying is when they came into the league out of college. And the reason with MJ is because of Dean Smith's
LeBron didn't go to college.
I know. But what I'm saying is pre-draft. And then what we got. No one could have anticipated this.
Right.
They exceeded expectations. And it's very rare. Usually, and I was one of the biggest skeptics of LeBron coming out of high school. Because everybody was hyping this young man up. And I'm like, I mean, look at Sebastian Telfair. Not that he was a bad player, but that's just a prime example.
Right.
All these dudes hype. LeBron, I'm watching, and what I think got it was his third game in the season. I'm trying to remember. I watched this young man, and I'm watching this dude look like he's already been playing 4 or 5 seasons in the league. He was still very scrawny at the time, mind you. But
Right.
I'm like, what? It was that. It was like what? It was the same thing. Steph Curry. What happened? Steph Curry came in. All he could do was shoot from out of Davidson. He could play, but all he could do was shoot. He didn't really have defense. He didn't have handles. He didn't. This year, and by season 3, LeBron, the rest is history. The man became a legend by season 3 already. Steph, never seen an evolution of a player like that ever. The closest thing you could say, no, not even Yao Ming, because I was gonna say Yao. No, Steph is by far no one. And you say, well, his dad was you. Everybody talks about his shooting. Steph is way more. This man's defense is so mad underrated. It reminds me of Allen Iverson. Now, he's not as quick as AI.
I don't know about
but no one gives AI his defense. No one gives that man credit for defense.
Facts.
Never. Every time I argue, he was this, he was that, he's a ball hawk, he was offensive. The man, no one wants to ever count steals. Last time I checked, that's a stat. Everybody, oh, he doesn't play defense. Where's the steals? Oh, that dumb man, he's gambled. Do you know how difficult it is to get steals? I do.
They say
as someone who's a relative elite 2 lockdown defender myself, when I'm in full physical shape, it's very difficult. Look at Bruce Bowen, arguably the greatest defender of all time. Did he get that many steals? No. It takes a special breed. Just same thing with rebounding the ball. Ask Udonis Haslem. If you just look at Udonis Haslem or like a Charles Barkley or a few other guys like Dennis Rodman, you wouldn't think. But a certain timing, it takes a special talent to be able to do certain things and do it.
Right. Let's tie this back into anime. So yeah. I forgot how we got into the Michael Jordan thing, but do you think
I was saying one in how Oda uses, because everybody complains, oh, they don't incorporate other people's, but then when they bring in other people groups, and I can actually tie this into Dragon Ball because you're doing this issue in Dragon Ball Super currently, where everybody's like they want to complain about the Saiyans. Everything's about the Saiyans. Everything. Now understand this. Okay, number one, the protagonist is what?
And what? Dragon Ball Z?
Wait, Goku. Dragon Ball. What is he? What race is he?
I don't know.
He's a Saiyan. He's a Saiyan. Vegeta's a Saiyan. Those who can. He's a Saiyan.
Is that a race or is that because
it's a race? It's definitely a race.
No, like race. The people were all of them Saiyans?
No, Namek. Okay, most are okay. Tien. Well, Tien's also.
No. I'm talking about before pre-Namek. I'm talking about like Vegeta's dad, Goku's dad, all that. Remember they had this whole like civilization outside of
Earth? Those are all Saiyans.
They're all
Planet Vegeta, all Saiyans.
So how did Frieza ended up getting the best of them?
Well, I was actually going to get into Frieza because people are complaining about Frieza. Now,
my fault. If anybody's watching, my fault. I knew it was a race. I was just brain freeze. But go ahead, you dog.
It's all good. It's actually because I was actually going into Frieza because there's this double think going on and this double think. Number one, the protagonist is a Saiyan. He ain't human.
Right.
Why would there not be a focus, especially it's an alien race that for the most part is extinct?
Real quick, I think people get it misconstrued because of the fact that he looks like a human being. They forget that he's not from Namek or Earth.
Everybody thinking, it's all about the Saiyans. Yeah, because they have an evolutionary advantage. They just do. Again, like people talk about evolution, they don't understand what evolution actually is. Like a lot of people throw around this junk, Darwinian, that's not evolution. Evolution, for those who don't know, I'm talking specifically biologically here because socially and otherwise gets a little bit more complicated that I don't want to get into. But this actually goes for anime. You talk about real life stuff. Toriko uses it all the time. Evolution, and from a biological sense, is simply a change over time via natural selection, adaptation, and isolation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And I also brought up, I forget if I did a video or not, but I know I've talked about it before, I think with Wow, Ray, Northside, about, at least in a private hangout, about Toriko of the 8 Kings. In case those don't know about Toriko, the 8 Kings are some of the top dogs in the series, but they got nerfed because of the planet that they were on and because they weren't throwing blows at each other, because they did not have the competition, higher level competition, taking your basketball or whatever, the martial arts. If you don't have great competition, you will be low level, period. If you're not exposed, if you don't know of greater competition, you're gonna be low level. You're gonna hit a plateau, even if you have potential to be great.
Do you think that applied to Hunter x Hunter with Netero and the King?
That situation is
because Netero didn't practice his. Well, I mean, he did do, like, he was in combat to some extent, but he wasn't like challenged, so to speak, for years.
Netero, no, I think that very much so is a whole lot of political stuff that Yoshihiro Takahashi has yet to reveal. He's subtly doing it. There's a lot of political stuff that no one's paying attention to with Hunter x Hunter, with the Hunter Association. The fact that no help was really sent, none of the top hunters. Why was it only Netero? And he picked, and Morel's my dude too.
That's why I always said the King.
Ellen, no.
That's why I always said the King wasn't that much of a threat if they didn't send everybody in the world.
No. They also downplayed it. What they wanted to do, but this is how twisted these higher ups be, how corrupt they are. In many movies, many media, right? And even out here, right? They will allow people to be sacrificed. They don't care as long as their agendas. Think of how twisted that is. This was not a necessarily goal because it could be taken out. But it was a big threat. They downplayed the level of the threat. Now, I don't think it was an A+, nothing like that, but they downplayed the level of the threat.
I think the King was strong.
He was strong as hell.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be the strongest in the series, but I will say
he's definitely not gonna be the strongest in the series, but he was strong.
At least top mid tier by the end of the series, at least. But I mean, people laugh this off. They're like, "Oh,
I would go as far as to say lower tier and top tier. Low top tier.
I don't know. It depends on how Togashi plays out with Nen. It's getting very.
How strong do you think Netero's son is compared to the King?
I can't even gauge him because we haven't seen the dude do anything.
But then they think he's stronger than Netero?
I don't know. I thought I don't know. They might have mentioned more potential, as strong as, I don't know. But then again, we don't know how powerful Chairman Isaac Netero truly was. See, that's the thing. Togashi, people get mad at Oda, but let's talk about Togashi just on the moment, right? And you see this with a lot of you talk about real world references. You see this with a lot of, just how coaches do this too. To where they don't allow I mentioned Dean Smith with Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, and all them. We didn't know how great these guys could have been because they nerf them. This man Togashi has nerfed everybody. Not like Gon and Killua, not them. But these top dudes, we've seen nothing. Think about that. People complain about One Piece. Oh no, Hunter, we've seen literally nothing. Chairman, people are like, well, we saw Zero Hand. We saw the man in one fight, seriously. Seriously? It's an opponent who physically was a monster.
Literally.
And he was a monster. And he had no knowledge. I mean, he had a great strategic mind, but he had no knowledge of combat. Morel, I always go back to what Morel said to Killua. I reference this in all throughout. What did Morel tell Killua? Because Killua was like, oh, I need to know pre-hand the strategy and all that. What did Morel tell Killua?
I don't remember.
In the wild, you never know your opponent's abilities.
When did he tell him this?
It was when they first remember, I think when they got left behind. I forget if
when he was with whatchamacallit, the guy that make portals and stuff and holes in the ground and goes through it.
Yeah, Knuckle and
Knuckle.
shoot him.
Yeah,
Knuckle and shoot the first time when he said that. Because he was complaining like his ability. Now, this was also because Killua got nerfed by Illumi's needles, but regardless.
He was under the Illumi needles. That's true.
Yeah. Which made perfect sense.
So you think if he wasn't under the needles effect, he would be stronger?
Well, it was proven. As soon as the needles got released, what happened?
In terms of fighting the Chimera Ants?
Well, he got the needles released, if I recall, when he fought the Chimera Ants. Because the second time he fought Shoot, the needles came off. They were like a mental restraint or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I mean, he put in work, but again, it's like, but then again, he did face the butlers, and the butlers were giving him that work. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people talk about Oda and different ones. Togashi, and I love Hunter x Hunter. Trust me, people don't get this twisted. But this is me being critiquing for a legitimate reason. Togashi's inconsistent. Like I said this the other day, go with a friend. I think it was Dalton or whatnot. But I was saying, like, yo, why is it that Kurapika, he's concerned about using his nin. Why? And Dalton was like, oh, he doesn't want anybody to know. For what? Most people can't even sense nin. He's coming out here pulling out a gag. Like, what? What are you doing? When dude went heads up with freaking Uvogan, one of the most powerful individuals we've ever seen in the series. That's inconsistent. He's concerned about some regular dude.
Wasn't Uvogan part of the Shadow Beast?
No, Uvogan was the dude who killed most of the Shadow Beasts. Or 4 of them. He was the part of the Phantom Troop. He was the big dude.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. My bad.
And this man, arguably the most powerful physically outside of Yuki.
Yeah. Uvogan was the one that they trapped. Didn't they like catch him with like chains and stuff? Because
he caught him up in chains, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's because of his ability." This man survived Uvogan's blows. Understand that. No one wants to give the credit to Kurapika. This man took blows that other people would have died from. So let's stop.
Real quick. Uvogan versus Hulk. Who wins?
Wait. Did you just say that blasphemous, ludicrous statement? Did you just ask that? You're asking
who wins? Now for real, who do you think wins?
Versus Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, Dr. Bruce Banner. I want to make sure I'm hearing this properly.
That's a fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what this compares to. Okay. let me do adequate. Okay. This what kind of example do you want me to compare it to that you could relate to very well?
It doesn't matter.
All right, Batman. Since you know Batman very well, right?
Word.
This is like comparing Batman and Deathstroke to a white belt. Are you serious?
Yeah. It depends.
No, there's no depending. Do you understand? Okay, people, when I'm talking about the Hulk, I'm not talking about these nerfed versions.
Wasn't Uvogan indestructible? And it was only Kurapika that could take him down.
It was not indestructible. That is a complete myth.
So who else took him out? What happened to him? What wounds did he suffer during the battles?
Kurapika wasn't strong enough to injure him, really.
So when did he get injured?
He never fought anyone who could injure him.
All right, so you think that he would fight like a person like the Hulk and he'll get injured? If we haven't seen him get tested by someone who's strong enough to get injured, how do you know that he'll get washed?
Different series, but here's something that's very fascinating. I'll explain my answer in a second. But here's a question. Uroge from One Piece, right?
Yeah.
He's got a pain packer capability, right? He takes pain, he makes him bigger, stronger.
Mm-hmm.
How is he ever get hurt?
Strategy.
That's a great question. How does this man who absorbs pain get hurt?
absorbing a certain maximum amount of pain that he can't tolerate.
There's a possibility of that.
An indestructible amount of pain that he can't tolerate.
There's that. We see Phaeton as well. There's that. I mean, there could be a number of explanations, but it just makes one think. Now, I'm not talking, and I'm not talking future Hulk because that's just overkill to about anybody. Future Hulk,
is we're talking about regular Hulk.
But see, that's the problem when you're talking about regular. Most Hulks are just completely nerfed. If we're talking the Hulk that I consider the, was it Savage? Not Savage, a level above Savage. Like not your typical the Bruce Banner. When Bruce Banner took over, he's like, all right, Hulk, I'm going to be the mind. That Hulk, that top tier Hulk. Besides Future Hulk, who's a fighting genius and just got juiced up, freaking on some roid states with gamma radiation. Okay, for those who don't know, the Bruce Banner controlled Hulk is an absolute monster. He's got no mental inhibitions, which limit his strength, kind of like Killua's needles. Okay, this dude is ludicrous. He gets more powerful with rage. Understand it. The longer the fight goes, you have to take him out quickly, because if the fight goes longer, he gets more powerful. He gets physically stronger. All his stats go up, and you have to understand Hulk's durability and stamina. We don't know the limits of his stamina. We don't know the limits of his physical strength. His durability, this dude can survive the nucleus of an atom. He's ludicrous in stamina. Am I echoing?
No, I was checking the stream. My fault.
Oh, it's all good. I just want to show him like. So yeah, the Hulk. That's not fair. That's like comparing Mariam to freaking Cell, and I did that death match because I wanted to shut people up.
Who compared him to Cell?
Oh, bro, you get asinine.
He's too strong and fast to fight Cell.
He's too what?
He's too fast to fight Cell.
What? Do you understand how fast Cell is? Perfect Cell?
As fast as Miriam?
Dog, once again, people don't understand how fast Dragon Ball characters.
What speed feat? Wait. What's Cell's best speed feat?
Cell's best speed feat. Fighting Son Goku. Let me put it this way. Do you understand that back when after training on Kami's tower with Mr. Popo, Son Goku passed the speed of lightning? That's back early Dragon Ball. Yeah.
That doesn't mean he was traveling that fast when he fought Cell.
No. It's not about traveling fast. It's combat speed. That's why I always bring up combat.
So you think he was moving as fast as lightning when he was fighting Cell?
Dragon Ball, people, it's like it's inconsistent. The thing is, it's all about ki. It's all about energy usage. But also, we have an example of early Dragon Ball of Master Roshi versus Krillin. Within a fraction of a second, the fight was finished.
Yeah, that's true. That was funny. That was funny.
And that's early Dragon Ball. We're talking power levels.
I give that token to comedy more than.
But no, that's how fast they fight. Everybody complains about the 5-minute fight in Namek. Do you understand how fast these guys fight?
Facts. And 5 minutes of fighting is not as like just throw away a fight as people think it is. Try fighting somebody for 5 minutes straight. Especially if you're not in shape and you're a regular person.
You ain't gonna. I mean, most fights end in 30 seconds, but that's only a couple blows. These dudes are doing a full on. I mean, and understand. See, this is the thing. Toriyama especially in anime, do people understand that they have to showcase? If they tried to do how fast we wouldn't ever see. The human eye wouldn't even see. Just like the Flash. The Flash, Barry Allen, and Wally West specifically have to nerf their speed, because if they don't. Not on the series, on the show, because they nerfed them ridiculously so. But they have to nerf their speed, because if they don't, their speed would tear up the surrounding area. That's why they don't run that fast.
Right.
If anyone ever knows. And their bodies, I mean, they have regeneration and they have accelerated, they have speed, but their bodies are not that durable. They're like not exactly regular human, but pretty much. So
let's go back to the Cell versus Barry. So what do you think? So Do you think it's going to be a complete annihilation, or is it going to be, or is Miriam going to put up a fight at all?
Who, against Cell?
Yeah.
Oh, he can't hurt him. That's part of the problem. He can't hurt him.
He can't hurt who?
He can't hurt Cell. Like, understand how hacks this dude's, and he's not even Majin Buu hacks. But understand how hacks this dude is.
I know that. I would never do that.
Even if he somehow manages to blow, now we know who's got greater durability. It's Cell. But even if Cell gets managed and somehow magically Miriam destroys his body, Cell got blown up by instant transmission Kamehameha at point blank.
And the final flash.
What'd you say?
And a final flash.
I don't remember the final flash blowing them up.
Remember, it took him all the way to like he was basically bacteria, if anything. He was like a little speck, and he grew out from that. Remember when when Vegeta went into the air and did his final flash?
I don't remember that. I remember him blowing himself up and he coming back from that cell.
That too, but there was a move he did called Final Flash. I think it was Final Flash, but it was either Final Flash or
it wasn't Gatling gun. I know that much.
It wasn't Gatling gun, but it was either Final Flash. Hold on, look this up.
I'm trying to remember this scene.
Vegeta versus Cell. Final Flash. Well, I can't show this because it's stream, but I'll link it.
Yeah, I believe you. But yeah, this dude, if Miriam, that's people don't understand abilities. See, this is the problem when we talk about arguments and people take real, even out here, you talking about bring about real life. Always do one-sided. You know, the same thing is, and I'm not, whatever your support or whatever. Same thing with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
No. Oh, yeah, these talking about politically.
It's an example of current relevance. Mm-hmm. A lot of supporters of Hillary were saying this, done that, but they didn't take on both sides. And that's what a lot of people were like, yo, what about this? Oh, but this guy did it. You can't do that. when you see how I do death matches, like both. Like I remember my first one was Naruto, and I was showing mainly how Luffy won, but it was a lot of people were mad. They saying, well, what about all this and that? I said, wait a second. I do relevant information, but yeah, I'll argue both sides if there's an actual argument here. That's the problem. Like I remember I didn't even do one death match, Venom versus I think Juggernaut, because it would have been a bloodbath. It was just Venom didn't even stand a chance. Like Venom. The more I did the study and research, I'm like, oh, because I'm unbiased when it comes to this, and most times I like both characters. But even if I don't, I look at the stats and I'm like, I look at the truth and I'm like, no, we can't do that. But yeah, man, if Miriam somehow, because he shouldn't be strong enough to even be able to scratch.
Are you on the computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
I'll just put it in a hangout. But they don't have the part where they showed Cell, but Cell got so scared of that move Vegeta put on him.
I believe it.
It was so strong he could have destroyed the Earth. That's how strong that move was. And Vegeta is one of my favorite characters in Mozzie, but that's the only reason why I remember this. But
believe it.
I was hyped. I was like, yo, Goku barely did anything against this guy. Vegeta was
that's not true though. Everybody that says Son Goku, they need to go back and watch that fight, because
I mean, Goku. If we really discuss this, Goku could have beat Cell. I think.
Thank you.
Goku could have beat Cell 1-2. Goku
even admitted it. Everybody say that Cell admitted the truth.
Goku did that in order for Gohan to fight Cell.
Thank you. Here's the reality. Son Goku may have been base Super Saiyan 2. He was either full complete Super Saiyan or maybe at base. We knew that was his base. He may have been Super Saiyan 2. See, here's the reason I say that. Because I think Gohan was Super Saiyan 2.5. I really do. When you look at especially Super Perfect Cell powered up, when you look at the facts of 7 years later, when Gohan was still Super Saiyan 2, what did Vegeta and Son Goku indicate? Who were now completely mastered Super Saiyan 2s. Okay? He was weaker. How do you drop out weak enough? If he was so weak, he would have dropped back to regular Super Saiyan. He wouldn't have dropped. People would say, well, he should have kept. No, it doesn't work like that. His body wouldn't have been able to go Super Saiyan 2. He barely trained. So he would have had to been significantly into the state in order.
Right.
Like, it doesn't take rocket science, especially considering how we know how the Super Saiyan works. I mean, this is the same man that says, oh, I don't even know if I can go Super Saiyan anymore. What the fuck? See, that's what I'm talking about, dog. You know,
that shouldn't even be a conscious decision. You should be subconsciously go Super Saiyan.
But I mean, at least everybody complain about Dragon Ball Super. No, they see what they doing is they showing the truth. And people don't want to see the truth. Okay. I don't know how deep you are into the series if you're in this Dragon Ball Super, but people are having problems.
I'm gonna start watching it. I didn't even start the first episode.
Oh, please don't listen to the foolishness that everybody say.
I'm not. I just haven't watched it.
I feel you. It makes sense. Let me explain to some people, because a lot of people want to say, "Oh, there's these plot holes."
The only thing I could ever admit to not watching because of fandom is Fairy Tail. That's the only thing I could admit that I never watched because of fandom.
Oh yeah, I don't watch the anime, but I've actually been reading since chapter 400. And actually, especially recently, now the Fairy Tail fandom kills me, because I actually, just like with Naruto, just like with Bleach, none of these I'm actually a fan of, by the way. But I've at times defended. And it's funny how I've been, you know how much I love One Piece, for example, much I love Hunter x Hunter. I have critiqued things and have been called a hater. Mm-hmm. I have been called a lover of something and a fanboy. A Naruto, you know me, Naruto Bleach fanboy, please. Because once again, people can't think out here.
That's why they believe that Goku would lose himself.
Goku would lose himself. At least that's somewhat of an argument, but come on, dog. Like,
it's not somewhat of an argument, because Goku bowed out. Goku said, I can't beat him. But that was like, he said it in a joking manner, though. I didn't even take him seriously when he said that.
They were about even, so it's not asinine. But when I start seeing things,
I could believe it more if they said Frieza could have beat Goku.
Frieza could have beat Goku, especially if Hunter.
I believe that more than Cell beat Goku.
Yeah, I can see what you're going with. I mean, Son Goku had the advantage over Kid Buu as well. People don't want to talk about that. In fact, we never got a little bit if Goku couldn't fight Super Buu himself. So but that's a whole nother, because that one gets people want to put. I'm like, how powerful do y'all think Mr. Gohan honestly was? Like, and I've said this. I actually did a video discussion. I said that Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku would have beaten Mr. Gohan. And even though Mr. Gohan is clearly more powerful, power doesn't necessarily wait. Because understand, Super Saiyan 3 was in the ballpark. As long as he didn't run out of ki. I mean, the man's a fighting genius. Gohan barely knows how to throw hands.
I think in speed, Super Saiyan 3 is in the ballpark.
What'd you say?
I think in speed, Super Saiyan 3 is in the ballpark.
I mean, overall, he's in the ballpark, period. All stats. Yeah, all stats. All stats are. From everything that was indicated. I mean, he could have beaten Majin Buu. No problem. So,
yeah, but he let that up to Gotenks and the other guy.
I mean, he didn't. People don't understand. This man, he recognized. He's like, I'm not gonna be here forever. Somebody else got
to learn how to fight.
Yeah. Why you think he wanted to take Oob? Everybody like, oh, his kids were grown. Goten was about to be 18 years old. He was 17 going on 18. Gohan had his own family. Chi-Chi was a grown woman. Are you serious? Oh, why? Because he actually cares about the Earth? If you, like, no one considers how many threats have been to the Earth. And y'all complain about Goku Son Goku training. Even Goten understands this. Gohan understands this. Chi-Chi deep down understands this. This man is a warrior and martial artist. What is wrong with y'all? She knew what she married.
That's the reason why she didn't want Gohan to fight it.
Well, Gohan's a pacifist anyway. He's a pacifist, so that's his name. Which a lot of his fanboys don't want to accept. No, we want this. You want a specific Gohan that was fat.
Yo, he turned into Saiyan, man. Like how? Like, come on.
What'd you say?
I said this is the same Gohan that turned into Saiyan, man. Come on, let's be serious.
People pissed off about that. It's like, did anybody ever watch this kid? This kid was thrown into fighting. He never wanted to fight. Never. Piccolo forced this dude to fight. Does anybody remember that? Anybody?
Yeah, it's not like Kid Trunks or Gotenks who actually was down to fight. Like they were ready for it. Like
and even they're like
Kid Trunks was down to fight.
Kid Trunks is because of his father. Let's keep it 100% real out here.
Yeah, but it was still his conscious decision to go fight though, because he got so upset when Gotenks was easily a Super Saiyan and stuff.
It's again. I mean, he's the son of Vegeta. Like, let's understand what that entails.
Gohan is the son of Goku. What do you mean?
He's really more Chi-Chi's son.
If you want to go down that route, he's still a Saiyan.
He's still a Saiyan, but I mean, you didn't even see it in Dragon, and you ain't read it. But there's this one scene in Dragon Ball Super, and there's been a few times where Son Goku's been disappointed. Hell, Son Goku didn't even. Piccolo had to tell Son Goku like, "Yo, Gohan," and remember during the Cell Saga, he's like, "Yo, Gohan ain't really that fighter type." Like, and Son Goku like, "What?" He didn't even compute. He never even considered it. Like he's like, what?
There was nothing to consider. Like he's a Saiyan. What do you mean he can't fight? He's not a fighter.
No, it's not only that. All he's ever known, Grandpa Gohan was a martial artist. Master Roshi was a martial artist. Krillin was a martial artist. Hell, Yamcha, who nobody really respects. I do.
No one gives any credit to Yamcha.
Put some respect on when he's been. If Yamcha was in most series, I done said it in most worlds, this man is clearly most powerful.
So much people.
Man, even put him in DC and Marvel. This dude, hell, now not Kal-El.
Maybe Marvel. Maybe Marvel. DC's a stretch.
No, even DC. Well, Marvel got them killers too, man. Marvel.
And I know they do, but let's be honest. Maybe he would be more of a he'll stay more of a chance.
Do better in DC than Marvel. Marvel got some killers, bro. Marvel got some hacks, dude. I mean hacks. I ain't talking about the God Almighties or these dead.
Yeah, I actually ignore. I ignore those kind of characters in Marvel and DC.
Here's the thing. DC has ways around it. Like Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, my dude. You take off that ring, he's a regular dude. Superman, Kal-El, you came from the sun. You know, the kryptonite. Batman, he's a superhuman, but come on, you know what I'm saying? Marvel, I mean, you got dudes like Spider-Man, Hulk, Doctor. I could go a whole list. Namor the Submariner. These dudes try to catch them slipping.
Galactus,
Murdoch,
Silver Surfer. People sleep on the Silver Surfer. They don't understand how hacked Silver Surfer is.
And this man is light compared to dudes like Galactus. He light.
Facts. Galactus is very strong.
Marvel are ridiculous. Now DC has they're top heavy, if you will. They kind of like we talking about LeBron and I've been watching the back and forth. I'm kind of going through because different arguments I side with different sides, but it's kind of like the clear. It's really I would compare it to actually kind of both the Cavs and Golden State now. And I was comparing it to, I said the last actually stacked teams were the 2012 through 2014 Miami Heat teams and the 2013 2014 Spurs. Those were the last stacked teams. When you look from the top to the bottom, they was deep. They were deep. You didn't have holes in those teams. You knew if you went up against those squads, bro, you ain't coming out of that series. That's why those two teams could only compete with each other. Those were the only threats to each other, really.
Yeah, going back to the Marvel and DC, I grew up a Spider-Man fan before I got introduced to Bruce Wayne. So Spider-Man to this day is still my favorite character in Marvel. But I do understand that there are killers. But I still think he'll stand more of a chance in Marvel than he would. And this is going against like the basic like characters. Like obviously if he goes against top tier, it's gonna be it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same discussion.
Here's the problem though. The reason I say this is, and I know a lot of people think because they don't not do to have Son Goku defeat him.
In the Dragon Ball series, they move too fast for them to go against. Like, how fast do you think typical Marvel characters are moving compared to how would Yamcha move against them?
It's more complicated than that with Marvel, and I'll explain why. In DC though, they generally don't fight fast. That's the reality.
Right.
This is facts. No one wants to admit the truth. Kal-El, when he throws with guys like
fast fighter is probably Flash. And well, there's probably a couple more people.
Flash doesn't fight that fast. I mean, he fights fast, but I did a death match between Flash and Kid Buu because Flash,
he transitions fast, but he doesn't throw fast punches. Is what I'm trying to say. He makes fast transitions. Like if you throw something at him, maybe he'll dodge it, move behind you, throw a punch, but he doesn't like fight in speed.
Yeah, he does fight. It's complicated with Flash because of his anatomy.
And it depends on which Flash, because Kid Flash faster than
Wally? Well, no, Wally. Oh, don't Wally West. I was corrected. I gave shout out to Moose a couple years ago, but yeah, Wally West did eventually not Kid Flash, but Wally West when he became Flash did surpass Barry Allen. Even though Barry Allen is in my Wally West is the only one of the very few replacements that I actually consider legitimate to a character because the rest I just don't know. But they don't fight fast. Everybody's like, "Oh, Superman can travel. He could." Have you ever watched
Superman is the worst excuse.
Medium? I mean, the fact. Think about this. The fact that regular dudes can hit Superman. Understand what that means. You telling me regular goons are hitting Spider-Man? No.
Never.
Spider-Man got a hack thing called the Spider Sense.
Observation hockey.
That's observation. I mean, Daredevil, Matt Murdock. I mean, the series, it doesn't nerf him, but he's beginning. Daredevil, Matt Murdock is ridiculous. His ability is one of the most, his ability alone.
Super observation hockey.
That is one of the most hacks in fiction. And I'm not talking reality warping and logic warping.
A blind superhero.
Who? He's a blonde, but he's not blonde.
I mean, he's not
radar vision better than human sight. His radar vision is better than human sight. I mean, there's ways to counteract it, but as he goes on, he finds ways to get around it. Then you get I won't even go into the
movie.
Iron Man shoots because those get ridiculous.
Did you see the movie when he fought Bullseye?
I haven't actually watched the movies for Daredevil yet.
Okay, never mind.
But it's all good.
You talking about when they implement sound wave, right? When they start hitting stuff very loudly, that's how they get him.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. Because he's super sensitive, but that's still a relatively early Daredevil because he overcomes. Because trust me, he encounters this stuff all the time. That's part of it. When it comes to Marvel, these dudes grow through combat. DC rarely happens. And I love DC and Marvel, but this is a reality. Spider-Man has to grow, or else he's not surviving.
Correction. I like Batman. I don't do well in supporting DC. I just like Batman.
Yeah, I feel you. I love both. I was first DC, then Marvel, then cartoon, then eventually anime manga. So I'm not biased.
It's very hard. I'm not biased either, but it's very hard to argue for Superman, especially when, like you said, regular people are hitting him.
And then he has so many weaknesses that no one was magic. The whole Sonic. I mean, people even make I had to block Hold on 1 second. But I had to block one coworker because she about to spit some foolishness on he got ridiculous or he had ridiculous abilities. He doesn't have ridiculous abilities. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
he has an enhanced
His
basic
fans like implement all this stuff that is not canon. People are like, well, there's so many. No. There is canon. There is canon. The canon.
Besides heat vision and flying, he has enhanced basic abilities.
No, he has more than that. All right. Let me go over the
Like what?
acceptable besides Golden Age. Golden Age, or the original Golden Age, was faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound,
That's
and a
still
couple of.
enhanced basic speed and strength is basic stuff though. It's just really enhanced.
Oh, he was more than that. I mean, this dude was pretty much bulletproof too. So,
Okay.
yeah, he had good vision. He had multiple things. The thing about it is, all right, he has let's see, super strength, super speed, I mean, his super speed, it's not quite Flash level, but it's up there. Just running wise. Um, he's got X-ray vision, he's got heat vision, telekinetic vision, like he can see telescopic vision. This dude could see ridiculously. His brain, when he wants to use it, he can operate at a ridiculous high speed. Um, I do accept the new one of the few things out of the new stuff I accept for him is that solar flare kind of technique. I do accept that because it makes perfect sense. Um, his body's ridiculously durable. Pretty much, he's relatively immortal. Um, what's some of the other basic ones? Freezing breath, huge long breath. Huge breath. Super hearing. Oh, he's super hearing. He can pretty much hear across the planet if he wants to. It's ridiculous. Um, that's the major ones. He can fly. Uh, he can survive in space, depending on what version you go by. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, but that's enough. That's really
Mhm.
enough, honestly. Like, think about that. If you wrote a character like that, how many dudes are beating that dude? Exactly. But
A
this
lot.
man takes mad L's. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Madness.
It makes no sense the L's he takes. Even if Metallo, think about this. Even if you drain his abilities, he still should be able to. But oh my gosh, like this is how much they be nerfing this man. In all defense, because I am a Superman fan. Don't get it twisted. This man be getting affected by electricity and stuff. What? What? Oh, come on, man. These writers be booty, man. And then in another, see, this is the problem people have. They see this man moving like a planet because this dude is really that dude, but y'all want to make it so he can lose. See, Batman doesn't have those problems because the story writing be on point, usually.
True.
Like they
So
give this man dudes. Look at Batman. That's why Batman has the greatest rogues gallery, and Spider-Man has the second greatest rogues gallery of all time because they test these dudes and it makes sense. You know that Spider-Man with all his crazy abilities, he run into Electro and a Shocker. They gonna give this dude some problems.
word.
Scorpion, dudes can give him problems. Bane,
Shout out to Sandman.
Sandman, OG, Spider-Man villain. And now he's not so much a villain, but whatever. Venom. You look at see what it is, and you look at especially Batman. These various dudes for the most part, whether it be cerebrally or physically, they're able to counteract these anti-heroes or heroes and characters. When it comes to, I mean, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, same thing. You mentioned Bullseye. You got Elektra when he throws blows occasionally. Kingpin and his different folk.
Rhino.
Rhino. I mean, that's more Spider-Man, but yeah, Rhino.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man's super. People don't know how strong this man is. He's
Very strong.
ridiculous strong. But his body, it's kind of like Flash. I mean, it's not as probably it's more durable, but still, he ain't no tank.
He taking a couple tank shots
When I say a tank,
against
like, bro,
against against who can I name? Sandman, when Sandman turns into the giant sand thing, like that, those are big punches. Those are like Luffy magma punches.
Big, but that ain't no thing. That ain't no Wolverine. I mean, not Wolverine.
Getting
Yeah,
hit by a wall of sand.
that's Beast. Don't get it twisted. That's Beast.
He
But that
in
ain't
those
no
fights, he
thing.
damn near got crushed by a wall of sand.
That ain't no thing. No Colossus. No Hulk. And that ain't even. Come on now. that that's different level. There are levels to this. There are levels to this.
All right, so real quick,
Okay.
what do you think? Back to like the topic. What do you think the like I said, the influences are from our modern world, so to speak, in series like One Piece? When you look at, even though the whole pirates versus government thing is more like historic than from us, but what do you think about the way Oda implements, the government versus people like the pirates and let's say Luffy's dad, the revolutionaries? What do you think about stuff like that? Because
Well,
I
when you
think
look,
that applies to our world.
oh, of course, Oda, you know, when you look at it, I mean, remember what Eustace Captain Kidd said back on Sabudi, and he was like, "We know what we are. They're doing this charade, this facade, right? There are various types of pirates in the world of One Piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that inherently makes things complicated, which is reality. Why? How, the brand of pirate is very vague, and you can go into depth with just that discussion alone. Then you have the Revolutionary Army, who we don't even know what their true motives are. That's the reality. I've had a discussion with a few friends on that one. And not only that, then you have just outside entities. And then you have groups like the Shichibukai, where, wait a second, now you're supposed to be against pirates, right? I understand getting power on your side, but you're okay with the Shichibukai. But then again, you're cool with the Yonko system. Hold on here. It gets you to pause and backtrack and look. Like, think about this. Luffy's been
Are they
tearing
cool
up.
with the Yonko system, or are they just tolerating it?
No, they like it. They want it because it keeps balancing the new world. They know they can't control the new world. They know that. If they wanted the Yonko system to fall, why are they not pursuing the Yonko?
Because the Yonko keep the pirates in check.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point.
So, what do you think the Shichibukai would? What do you think that influence stems from in like real life?
Well, I mean, you can go back to the privateers. They're exactly like that. They're the privateers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, there's that, as well as you can say, you watch Blacklist, right?
Yeah.
Raymond, ready. That's my dude, man. Greatness, greatness. If y'all ain't seen the Blacklist, I've caught up with season 3 on Netflix. Oh my, yeah, my dude, man.
Or it was like what's his face? Damn, I forgot his name from Black Sails. That dude.
Yes.
Damn, I forgot his name. But you could
Which
say
with
he's.
Captain Flint, or which do we referring to? Um,
You could say Captain Flint because what were they? Where were they at? Was it Nassau? Where were they at? What was that place called?
Again, that's how it was. Like before civilization, quote unquote. And I have my own. You already know I have my own anti-civilization stance. Before civilization game, and people don't understand it. They say, "Oh, civilization." No, you actually are caught up in the matrix. Civilization is not good at all. Never has been.
That's a
Wild
different.
West.
I want to ask why not, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah, that's a different discussion entirely. That because that goes in deep historically, deep, way
Word.
back. Anyways, when civilization comes, oh, we got to get rid of these pirates. We got to act like but you have slavery. And that was, you mentioned black sails. That's exactly what that was. We're free men. Talking about, and remember, a lot of these were former sailors of the Royal Navy. His Majesty's Royal Navy.
Yeah.
Why would they flip the piracy and privateering? Oh, that begs a lot of questions. These weren't bad men.
The same reason Goldie Roger wanted to sail the seas.
Well, I don't think Roger necessarily was a good guy. A lot of things are hinting that this dude wasn't good. Same thing with Dragon. I don't think is necessarily good. In fact, I mean, Luffy isn't good, but you know, Luffy's relatively the Straw Hats are relative.
Garp bridged that gap.
Garp is questionable as well.
Why is that?
There's a lot of.
That's why I said he bridged the gap, because he plays both sides.
You can't play both sides. If you playing both sides, then you ain't right.
Garp is most definitely playing both sides.
And then that's why you ain't right.
I don't know. You can still stand. You can still stand on the side of. You can still stand on the side of justice and play both sides, because we see the distinction. Why not?
That's a dirty cop, bro.
How?
You can't play. You can't be dabbling in both waters, bro.
So helping out Luffy and Ace and still being part of the world government is being a dirty cop.
That's watching over children. That's not playing both sides.
Not during Marine Forward. That they weren't children. Well, they are children, but that like they were young adults in Marine Forward.
He didn't help them, did he?
Sort of.
No.
He did not help him. He didn't go against him. Like he just kind of let. Besides going against Luffy. Besides going against Luffy, he kind of was happy that all this stuff was going down. Like I don't think he wanted Ace to die.
Of course not. But here's the thing: he could have stopped it.
That's what I'm saying. He could have stopped it, but he didn't.
So he wasn't playing both sides. He even stated
he still went against Luffy though. He had no choice. Just because
he had a choice. See,
no, he didn't.
This goes back to Uchiha Itachi. This goes back to Uchiha Itachi. Did he have a choice? Absolutely, he had a choice. Of course, he had a choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice.
What do you mean by did he have a choice?
He always had a choice. You didn't have. What I'm saying is there's always at least three alternatives. Always at least three. There's always a choice.
There wasn't three alternatives in Itachi's case.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, there was plenty of alternatives I can mention.
But they weren't.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your argument?
Number one, he could have went with the Uchihas. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, he could have took Sasuke and left the village.
He could have did what?
Took Sasuke and left the village. That's number two.
But that's helping out. That's helping out the I guess you could call them the government.
That's helping no one.
That's going against the Uchiha because they were going to get slaughtered if he did that.
What, taking his younger brother and leaving?
Yes.
Hey, I didn't say the alternative.
That's turning his back on the Uchiha.
How? He turned his back completely on him by slaughtering them. What do you mean?
No, he took the initiative in his own hands.
No, he took. Come on, Ed. Don't do this. Don't do this, Ed.
That wasn't an option either. He wasn't gonna just take Sasuke and bounce.
Well,
he still loved the village at the end of the day. Just like
I didn't have to be permanent.
Huh?
When did I say it have to be permanent?
What do you mean? Why would he come back?
Who knows? It could be for a myriad of reasons.
He wouldn't.
He could have he could have simply said, I wanted to get my little brother out of the way, and they would have you trying to tell me they would have got pissed at him for that reason? Come on now.
They wouldn't, but they didn't know Sasuke like he knew Sasuke. They wouldn't have cared. That wouldn't have, if saying I want to get my little brother out of this was gonna make their heart soft, and they wouldn't have ever said to kill the Uchiha.
No. That's not what I mean. I'm saying the thing would have still went down, but his little brother would have been out the way, or he could have
cared. Danzo wouldn't have cared, and the third wouldn't have cared.
Well, I'm just saying alternatives. Like I said, none of these have to be good. They're just alternatives.
But it's not even an alternative. It wasn't even a thought to him. That wasn't even a choice.
That's the problem. And that's what Kishimoto. See, I love the fact that he kind of.
But what I mean by it wasn't a thought is he ignored that. Like he skimmed past that. Like that wasn't even something that he thought was even remotely possible for him to do.
I know that doesn't mean it was an alternative.
No, that wouldn't have made sense though. That would have been a plot hole.
How is it a plot hole to get your younger brother out of danger? That's not a plot hole.
Leaving him. That he basically did that though, low key.
Really?
He did basically do that,
bro. How do you wait?
The way he did it was incorrect, but he basically did it. You may argue against how he did it, but he still did it.
No, that's debatable if he actually got him out of danger. That's debatable. Or another thing is he could have at least tried. I'm not saying because people are like, it wouldn't work. He could have at least tried to talk to his brethren. His Uchiha.
Nah.
Again,
not an option. Too much bad blood. Too much bad blood. That's like saying speaking to the African American community about certain things. You think they're gonna listen to you?
Possibly.
Nope.
Well, again, see, this is the problem. I actually had this issue with a lot of Naruto fans, is because they're instantly shutting down that this is the way things have to be. When I propose, giving Kishimoto some credit, that Kishimoto intentionally did that multiple times to get us to think. Think about this. We see a very similar situation with Nagato, aka Pain, and in Naruto.
That was kind of different though.
How is it different? He didn't have to eradicate the leaf.
Huh?
He didn't have to eradicate the leaf.
How can I explain this? Nagato's outlook was based off of.
I like Nagato's outlook.
Huh?
I like Nagato's outlook, by the way, for the most part.
Word. Wasn't his outlook based on basically genocide?
No, his outlook was like, yo, we got to get power. It was similar to Uchiha Madara's, but the means and the depth was.
Nagato, wasn't it because Nagato saw the wars that was going on and how that basically led to his village's downfall, and he wanted power?
He wanted power to guarantee that no one else. It's like if Nagato was like this, I'm taking all y'all damn nukes away. Say something.
I agree with that.
I'm gonna force peace.
The paint arc is my favorite arc. I agree with that though. I agree with what Naruto was saying, but
he was wrong, but he was right. Same thing with Uchiha Madara. He was wrong. See, what I try to get people to understand and why
I don't know if Madara was wrong. I don't know if I could use that word.
He was mainly right.
Pain was wrong, but Madara wasn't wrong.
Nah, the only issue that Madara was wrong was Infinite Tsukiyomi. That was it. Everything else, right.
Can you seriously even say that was a wrong idea?
Hell yeah! I'll explain why. I can explain multiple reasons as to why it's wrong.
Okay. I can understand the whole making people mindless and controlling things and not letting people.
I mean, that's mental slavery. You controlling people. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm bugging. That's blasphemy. But listen to my argument.
Okay.
Madara saw something about quote unquote human nature that a lot of people kind of ignore and gloss over because they think that people can redeem themselves. And Madara proved time and time again that even though they kind of made Naruto the whole redeemer of all this, or they tried to, but Madara noticed that even in his past, he noticed that, okay, even before chakra, human beings was warring. That's the whole reason that chakra came into play in the first place. There was wars before chakra was even a thought.
Right.
And once you put quote unquote nukes or chakra into the play, that even made it worse.
Of course.
So that Madara understood.
I don't mean to interrupt, but you've heard me talk about the flaws of Hogoromo, the sage, the quote unquote sage of six pack. Get the hell out of here! Ain't no damn sage. It's ridiculous. I won't go off at the moment unless you want me to. But
he's definitely not a sage. He's an idiot. But
thank you. This dude is either an idiot or this dude, which I still propose that Kishimoto almost went. It's just Kishimoto had to wrap the story up. Kishimoto was going evil. The right was all on the wall. Okay. This dude was withholding all important. How is it that, and this is Naruto of all characters, he's like, yo, could you tell us about this? Oh, that ain't important. What you mean that ain't important?
Word, it was important. I still like Naruto. I still like Naruto with everybody. But my thing is this. Madara understood that no matter what side you chose, no matter how much you're trying to alternate things, people are still going to be human beings at the end of the day. They're going to war over stupidity, like stupid stuff. They're going to have all these, they're going to choose sides. And he learned this firsthand. Even when they tried to peace, they made peace for like a week or two. They had peace. But then the negative side of Hashirama's clan, and well, actually, it was more Hashirama's clan's fault than it was the Uchiha, because the Uchiha was down. But then
you forget what happened. You forget what happened. What happened was it was Hashirama's fault. Everybody say, "Oh, Hashirama's the best." No, there was no good Kage.
It was their fault. It was their fault.
It was Hashirama's fault. It was Tobirama's fault for being Mr. Suspicious. Okay, that's number one. But the real fault.
Yeah, that's true. It was Tobirama's fault too. Yeah, I forgot about
it. But the real fault, everybody want to blame Tobirama. I blame him for the segregated system. The real fault was Hashirama for listening to that foolishness and not curbing his brother and saying, yo, bro, I love you, but what you saying is some foolishness, bro. We out here having peace. What is wrong with you? Oh, he shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't be the Hokage, because the Uchiha, you're a racist mother. You racist mother.
That's why I made the comparison between black people and the Uchiha. But my thing was, the Uchiha kind of went with the whole peace thing, but because of the Senjus, they didn't allow their skepticism of the Uchiha didn't allow the Uchiha to be.
Oh, that was skepticism. That was ridiculous. That was beyond skepticism. It keeps it open.
And it was fright. They were afraid. Yeah.
Which they shouldn't have been, because the Senjus they OP as a mug. That made no sense. Senju DNA.
They were afraid of the whole Sharingan thing. That's what they were afraid of.
But I mean, Senju DNA, that junk, that crap, bro, that
it is hacks. Well, I don't know if I call it hacks, but
that's OP as a mug, and hacks too. It's OP and hacks. This junk is the most miracle. Think about this. People talk about sensu. No, forget that. Forget crack. Forget meth. Forget whatever you think. Forget.
Sensu beans don't allow you to get cut in half and come back,
bro. Even adamantium and vibranium ain't got levels on this. This junk. Hell, this is better than the Hulk gamma radiation DNA. This stuff right here, bro. This not only Tsunade could cut in half, because we've seen that. This junk right here, this is on a level, if not greater than freaking life fibers in Kill la Kill. And life fibers, oh my gosh, bro. That junk right there is ridiculous. Well, no, they more than that. Especially if you know deeper into the series. I don't want to spoil for those who ain't got. They need to watch Kill la Kill.
Let's not spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Till the end, I'll go great. That's all. That's it. It's over. Greatness. One of the greatest villains of all time. Period. I've been seeing it. I did videos years ago talking about the Auto War and other things about it. But yeah, man, the Senju DNA, bro. How do you describe it? If this was in any other, hell, Gourmet Cells and Toriko maybe over this, maybe, because Gourmet Cells, but they require sustenance. No, nothing competes with this Senju DNA. This is the nectar of the gods right here.
Yeah, but they were skeptical. Tobirama was skeptical, or whatever, and Hashirama let that get to his head, and that led to just stupidity.
Well, can you blame? I mean, this man, think about it like this, right? This is how stupid it was. This man brought the Nine-Tails, right? And he was OP. Now, hold on. This is how I say they were so OP. Now, Hashirama somehow fought the QB and Madara. Think about that 1 second. What are you scared of?
Exactly.
And still Kishimoto doesn't explain how in their prime, him and Tobirama died in nameless wars. I'm sorry, I can't get over them. It's like with Bleach. I can't get over this kind of stuff, man. Like No, no.
So you think Madara's outlook was correct, but his solution was incorrect.
Let me put it this way.
So other than
This is,
Infinite Tsukiyomi, what other way is there?
let me put it this way. All right. Well, there's a couple things I would love to address. Number one, when I say correct, first of all, he said a lot of beautiful things that are accurate. Don't get it twisted. He is a symbol. His philosophy just magnifico. He himself is a symbol. He's more than a character. He's a symbol. Number two, when I preface this, like I was debating, I know a lot of people were deciding with Naruto at the end of the story, and I was like, and a lot of us who were thinking rationally were like, Sasuke is right. A Dark Avenger, and he actually was speaking truth about what a Hokage probably should be. And he's like, I would have been like, Naruto, that was my big brother. Get out of here with that nonsense. You didn't even know him. But the thing about it was, I preferenced this. And number three, in their world, the shinobi world, you are right in everything you just encountered. Everybody want to see, this is the problem with all these worlds, okay, that we can bring up, anime, manga, and otherwise. Everybody want to bring in this world into the, you can't do that. That's like bringing modern times into Edo period Japan. Fool, you get body bagged. That's what you do. You want to bring that soft mentality up in there, you get body bagged.
Yeah,
these people, they had child soldiers. I mean, we do in this world too, but it was different. It was different.
Yeah, they definitely have. Naruto series definitely have child soldiers.
These dudes they were state condoned child soldiers. This man Nagato saying, yo, I watched my entire village become a, like it was Poland times 1,000.
Yo, his village was a war zone.
How is a village a war? Like, we got it bad in this world. It ain't that bad. Like, I understand battle. Like, you have occasionally the Battle of Stalingrad. For those who don't know, that happened in World War II, which I consider the greatest battle of all time, as well as one is arguably the most pivotal of all time when you come to war history. But still, you have those occasionally. This was a reoccurring theme. Like, that's why they didn't want to hear Kakashi talk all that smack. Because Kakashi, bro, you know. You done seen. What you mean?
He was there.
Why you think Orochimaru was the way he was? Seriously. You think that was a fluke?
They saw what happened. Like, they were murdering anybody and everything.
On sight.
On sight. If you see somebody.
Bro, you had clan members murking their own to get power. Because they were.
Questions later.
They're murking their own for power. Are you on? What kind of world is? And this is
I like the paint art
generation.
I can see where Nagato is coming from.
Hell yeah, Nagato was right. It's just his means. It was a bit nice, and here's what I was gonna the 4th point. What I was gonna say, him Naruto, Sasuke. It's debatable because Sasuke is just a different character with different ideologies.
Sasuke character is a fluke to me. He's not even a real character. A fluke.
Nah, he's not. He's a real character, but he just
his ideals was all fabricated for him. It was put into place for him to think what he's thinking. Like basically, everything was drawn that way.
Ed, time out. Ed, isn't that reality? Think about that. For most people, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Look at the children of Nazi. I mean, his was a little bit different, but look at the children of Nazi Germany. Think about that. Look at Killer Zoldyck. Same thing.
What, being an assassin?
No, not the fact of being an assassin. The same thing with Sasuke. That it was, you say it was engineered for him. Same thing.
He was Killer was under mind control though.
And you trying to tell me Sasuke wasn't? Come on now, dog.
Sasuke didn't have to do what he did though. That's the difference in Killer and Sasuke.
Itachi was goading this dude.
Killer was under mind control, legitimately. Sasuke was put into circumstances in which he made decisions based on his circumstance. Killua didn't have those choices.
Before the mind control, this dude was tortured. His entire family pushed towards being an assassin. Are you?
Killua didn't have a choice. Sasuke did. That's what I'm saying.
His brother was pushing him. It is no different, really. And fundamental, it's different in how they did it, but fundamentally, it's the same thing. Well, your family, who's supposed to be looking out for you, is pushing you towards a certain way.
Killua didn't have a choice. Sasuke did. This is a fact.
What choice? What choice? You said
Sasuke didn't have to go after.
Didn't have a choice.
He have to go after Itachi.
Didn't have a choice.
He didn't. He did have a choice.
Or are you saying now that Itachi had a choice?
No, I said Sasuke, not Itachi. I'm not talking about
Itachi. How did Sasuke have a choice?
He didn't have to go after Itachi.
You think Itachi was just gonna let him just sit there? Really? What
did Itachi do for him to go after him? What exactly do you think Itachi was controlling in order for Sasuke to go after him?
It's not
Sasuke
so
was
much
seeking out Itachi from this first episode or first chapter. Because of the whole because of the whole Uchiha thing.
The reason I say Itachi, okay, it's like, hold on. Have you ever had someone screw over a family member to the point that you wanted to kill that person?
No.
I have. It's one of those things that would. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that I can't understand, but I don't have the mental or the physical anger, but I can understand the situation by implying other frustrations.
I'm not gonna tell the story, but someone really screwed up my brother legally. When he got screwed over, and so he wanted to screw over my brother, and all of it, what happened. And my perspective is like, yo, you did this, you do it was totally unrelated. Understand that. It wasn't like this was some long-term investigation. It was unrelated. And he brought the heat down. And not only that, he gets out. Believe got deported, but he gets out, and my brother gets screwed over for years. At that moment, I legitimately wanted to kill him.
So you wanted to go on a manhunt for that guy, like Sasuke?
Oh no! If I would have saw him
on site,
I don't even care what he would have done. If I would have saw him had a weapon, it's on site. It would have been on site at that time. On site. That is one of the very few times I legitimately wanted to kill somebody. I'm not even playing. And I was like about 14. I was a little bit older than Sasuke. It would have been on site. But I didn't care what he would have done. I don't care. That's Sasuke. I didn't have my whole family massacred.
Answer me this. Answer me this.
Yeah.
Let's say you meet that guy. And you try to on-site him, but it doesn't work and it backfires and he beats you up. Are you going to continue to try to go after him, or are you going to try to get stronger?
What do you mean? Am I going to continue to go after him and get stronger?
Yeah. Or try to better yourself for the next occasion.
It depends on how the encounter goes.
Sasuke got washed the first time he met Itachi.
Well, no one said that Sasuke was intelligent like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point.
No. We're talking at different points. And no way am I defending his stupidity. That's just
what it sounds like you are. That's what it sounds like you are.
No, I'm talking about specifically his mindset. That's different.
I understand his mindset. I'm just telling you that he had a choice, though. The way you're saying Itachi had a choice is what I'm saying.
Look, dog. I feel where you coming from. I get that. We talking two different things. Let me clarify that for the people. We talking two different things right now. Okay, you talking about his stupid actions, which I've gotten on Sasuke in years past. So
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about specifically because a lot of people they say, oh, he he just was upset. I'm like, wait a second. Well, again, most people ain't been in that kind of situation to where you legitimately had thought, like people would say, oh, I want to kill somebody. No.
He was quote unquote blinded by hatred.
Blinded. He wasn't blinded by hatred. He was young and didn't understand. And you can't blame him.
He was blinded, bro. When your family, when your whole clan gets slaughtered.
How were you blinded? How
there's
you
no
blinded?
coming back. He went into Bruce. He went into Hulk mode after his family got it.
Can you?
No control.
I mean, come on. How young was he? He was young. How you think he's supposed to respond? Like, you gonna be crying. You gonna be something. Unless your behind is a cold-blooded killer from birth, you gonna be responding emotionally. This man, hey, this the reason I say I don't blame his mindset, because I remember the first couple chapters opening on Sasuke. This man here sitting thinking, he plotting. This dude here, Kakashi, go, yo, what's good? What you want to do? What you aspire to be? Naruto, I want to be Hokage. I forget what Sakura said. I really do. I ain't gonna front. I'm not even hating. I forget what she said.
Naruto had a good enough reason to be in the same position as Sasuke, being outcasted by the villagers.
Oh, I want to hear that move. No, that is bogus.
Why not?
Don't do that.
Why not?
Too intelligent for that foolishness. That so many of the Naruto fans, the big reviewers want to come out with that foolishness. Don't try to get no sympathy. Don't try to get no empathy for his foolishness. No. This kid was crying out for attention. He was drawing graffiti all on junk. Nah, bro. Nah, the same position.
That is true.
No. See,
that's why I said he had the potential to be in. I didn't say he wasn't.
No, he didn't.
I said yes, he did.
Stop it.
So you telling me Naruto couldn't have had the same kind of thoughts?
No. See, this that same foolishness that Kishimoto wanted to try to prove. Just say, oh, everybody, Naruto can relate to everybody. No, stop. He couldn't relate to God. Look, what happened to Gaara? Naruto didn't have that happen. Gaara's was ridiculous. His father tried to kill him or have him killed. Where they do that at? Your brother, in Sasuke's situation, your brother massacred your entire family, your entire clan. Where they do that at? Freaking in whose case? In Nagato's case, your village got genocided. Where they do that at? I don't want to hear. Oh, he lost his parents.
Naruto is a lot of the situations.
Out of here, bro. Not even comparable to any of those situations. Same thing with.
But the underlying theme for all those characters, Gaara, Sasuke, Naruto, Nagato, Madara, they were outcasted.
Who's outcasted?
They were all outcasts.
Wait. Time out. Number one, people are using the term outcast wrongly. Very, very wrong.
How?
Very, very wrong. What was it? What historically what's an outcast?
Someone who doesn't fit in with the status quo, from my understanding.
No, historically, what's an outcast?
I don't know.
Someone who kicked out. They outcasted from their village. They kicked the hell out.
They weren't kicked out. They weren't kicked out, so to speak, but they were kicked out in terms of each scenario. Let's look at Sasuke. His brother slaughtered his whole village. Everybody knew this. Everybody was looking at him from that perspective. No one wanted to hang out with him. He was basically not part of the village, so to speak, without not being part of the village. You could apply that to him. Nagato was forced not to be.
Well, no, hold on. You missed something about Sasuke. The truth of why they didn't want. No, let's be real about the truth of why him, Naruto, and Gaara. Why they didn't want to hang with them. Why? You forget. Come on, Ed. You know the truth. You know you too knowledgeable in Naruto to know the truth.
Wait, ask the question again.
Why did Naruto, Sasuke, and Gaara? Why did they not want to associate with them? You know the truth.
They were afraid.
Afraid of what?
Their strength.
Exactly. You have weapons of mass destruction in Naruto and Naruto and Gaara. And in Sasuke's case,
later on Sasuke.
What'd you say?
Later on Sasuke too. with the curse mark.
Well, he wasn't born with weapons of of mass destruction. Sasuke had the potential of being the most powerful by far. They were like, yo, nah, bro.
So wait. So implying that with Naruto, isn't that you saying the same thing that you just told me not to say?
Implying that Naruto to say what?
But you saying that he had a weapon of mass destruction in him, isn't that the same thing as what I was trying to say before about him being an outcast? Why not?
Nope. Yo, they were concerned. This is why this is not an outcast. They brought this man. They were schooling these kids and everything. They get it. Yo, this man was personally being raised like under the third and everything. Like, I don't want to hear about being no outcast, bro.
Wait. They were schooling him. They were schooling them under the intentions of not letting them know what the truth was. The third Hokage didn't want Naruto to understand anything about his past at all.
I agree.
So they weren't doing it. They weren't doing it. So in the sense of being an outcast, they weren't doing it. For example, if Naruto and Sasuke was 13 when all of this happened, they were completely been outcasted. But the fact that they were babies when all of this happened, they wanted them to be in a blinded situation and not know what was going on.
Exactly.
Once Naruto found out and Sasuke found out the situation, everything changed. But because of the fact that, Naruto, because he grew up and everybody kind of loved him for his personality, they grew to love him at a certain point in the village. His perspective and his situation was different than Sasuke's. So Sasuke still felt like an outcast because of the fact that there was generations of hatred because of the
Also, in Sasuke's case specifically, if you will remember, what was he consistently labeled? Same thing with Neji. Hello?
You said what was he consistently labeled?
Oh, what was he labeled? The same thing as Neji.
I don't know.
A genius.
Word.
You know how societies feel about geniuses.
Neji was definitely a genius. You think Sasuke was a genius or a fighting genius?
Questionable about. I know he wasn't a fighting genius, but the fighting. Actually, Naruto. I gotta give Kishimoto because he made what do I consider three fighting geniuses. He had Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Itachi, and Haruzen Sarutobi.
What about Gar?
Gar wasn't no fighting genius. Gar was a specialist.
Okay. You don't think Sarutobi? What about Sarutobi?
I mentioned him, Haruzen Sarutobi.
Okay. I think you said Hashirama.
No. Oh, leave a bad taste about. Man, don't say. Man, I ain't trying to be explicit, but fucking dick right, fucking suck it. Send you Hashirama fanboys, boy. Them dudes, they're ridiculous. This man know a couple things that are OP, and all of a sudden, oh, he the almighty. Out of here, bro.
So wait. So you wouldn't consider Orochimaru a fighting genius?
Did I consider Orochimaru? See, the problem is Kishimoto. He don't want to show what Orochimaru could really do. But that's the problem. He potentially, maybe.
He was a mad scientist.
Yeah. We don't know what this man could do. I mean, that's one of the down points of the entire series, though, honestly. I'd said this time and time again, like, yo, what can this man do? Like, I want to see what this man can do. Like, what's the hold up? Like, in the series, we had plenty, we had 200 plus chapters. Then he got introduced. He still had a good 50 plus chapters. We ain't seen anything. This man was brought into the situation. We ain't seen nothing. Why you even bring him into the altercation? We ain't gonna see anything. What? That's some Kubo riding right there.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, man. You got weapons. Yeah, I changed a couple people's perspectives about the whole weapons of mass destruction thing. That's exactly what they were. Think about that.
Yeah, they were. So what do you think about Gaara's development?
One of the best, if not arguably the best developed character in the series.
So you don't think he was outcasted?
No.
Why
I mean,
they tried to. His own family tried to kill him.
see, I done said this before. Now, why would you have this little tuning try to? I go now. If you gonna do it to first of all to your old son, you know he got he a Gen Cherokee. He got one of the bijou inside of him. Either you sitting joning in its own site, or you doing it yourself. Are you serious? Think of how stupid. If that backfired and it kind of did, but it didn't completely. Think about this. You have someone with a weapon of mass destruction inside of them. This is like, let's compare this to the Incredible Hulk, right? You got an opportunity to kill him while he weak. Bruce Banner is in control, right? And you got this serum or something. What? You got the top, Deathstroke being called in from DC. Whoever. So you got this top, you got an opportunity. And instead of using your big guns, what you gonna rely on? You gonna rely on Jonah, you gonna rely on some weak father dude to try to take this dude. What? Are you crazy? You gonna rely on father to take this dude out? Come on now. You deserve to die with your stupidity. Golly. Naruto, so much stupidity happened in that series was ridiculous. I mean, it goes from the whole issue. Oh, we'll use chakra to connect. What the hell is wrong with you? Chakra to connect? You really think people gonna be trying to connect? What? That's the same. Yeah, it's the same mentality that's out here that people actually believe a utopia is possible. Now, I'm about peace is actually very much achievable. World peace.
No.
Depends on what you mean.
No.
It depends on what you mean. It's
not possible.
It is. Depends on what.
What do you mean by depends on what you mean?
All right. What I mean by world peace is, and I could go again. It's a very in-depth discussion, but keeping it simply, it doesn't mean that every interpersonal conflict that occurs will ever be resolved. That's ludicrous. That's an asinine notion. What I mean is, dude, peaceful coexistence. That is very much achievable.
How can you have peaceful coexistence if people hate each other?
Why are they hating each other? That's
who knows?
No, we do know.
People have well, no, we don't. People have dumb reasons. We know why mass or certain groups of people don't like certain people, but we don't know why each individual person doesn't like somebody.
Again, that doesn't matter.
Why not?
See, here's why. Because let me ask you: is one person going to start a war against the world?
Yes.
Who's done it throughout history? One person.
One person could influence a whole bunch of people.
No. You didn't listen to what I said. I said it's one person.
One person by themselves can't start a war. No.
Thank you. That's all that matters.
No, it's
person to person. What happens?
No, it's not.
Factually, is when you have groups of people getting together.
How do you get the group though? Groups don't just spur out of nowhere.
They actually do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
someone
they
has
do.
to have. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Not possible.
Yes, they do. You want me to give you a recent example?
Go ahead.
The quote-unquote women's march against Donald Trump.
That wasn't a group spur of the moment.
That was spur of the moment.
No, it wasn't. That was generations of frustration.
No, stop. And that ain't no generation. Against one man is not no generation. Stop it, Ed. Come on now.
Go ahead.
Anti-Trump is not no generational thing. That is a spur of the moment.
Bro.
That is
so do you think women's rights is just now happening?
I didn't say women's rights.
What is the agenda of that group?
I said the quote-unquote women's march that was actually anti-Trump. Understand that.
What was the agenda of that group? It wasn't just anti-Trump.
Not every march that happened globally. I'm specifically targeting. You heard what I said. I said the quote-unquote women's march. I didn't say the women's marches throughout the globe that were about their own issues.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you're talking about. The United States.
But again, this is where it gets funky. I'm at.
My point is still proven because someone had to organize that. They didn't just wake up one morning and say, "Okay, we're gonna march." Who said to go march?
That's a good question because this junk just
you can't just start a group. No group. There's no such thing as everybody collective. What I'm trying to say is, one person from every state can't just wake up and say, I'm gonna go to a specific.
But that's not what happened, though.
What happened?
That's not what happens with groups. For example, actually, I can give you my own personal history. If you ever see, like, for example, my channel, you see my Mayday thing. I moved from a different state. Partially, I knew it was coming up that following year. I moved. There were people, and for example, I talked to a lady. She was in the city, right, where I'm at. And she came out because she saw on the news and she like, that ain't right. People spontaneously choose it. They elected
to come out. Who was the conductor of that group then? It's not spontaneous.
It was not. It was no objective to the group. You got to understand this. There were multiple.
It's not spontaneous if everybody saw the news and decided to go to that place.
But that's not what happened. That's not what I'm saying. One person. I'm just using one person. It was from different. No one knew. Maybe a couple
was spontaneously there because of the news. But if you start adding in more people, how is it spontaneous?
Again, it wasn't just because of news. That was one person. Most of us chose just to go there. We heard a time, boom, there it is. No one. I didn't know the people there. I didn't had no contact. I have completely random people to me. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Spontaneity is confused with chaos. Everybody wants. That's like when I say I'm an anarchist, I'm constantly, anarchy is chaos. No, it isn't. You can't have a society in a vacuum. That's retarded. Who said
anarchy is chaos?
Many folks.
There can be chaos, but I wouldn't say it is chaos.
It can't be chaos.
Why not?
Anarchy cannot be chaos because just because it says.
No, I'm saying chaos can arrive from it, but it itself is not chaos.
Exactly. Chaos actually, what chaos is and what a lot of people don't understand, chaos is a manufactured thing. Chaos doesn't arrive just what you're saying about spontaneity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what people don't understand. It's the same thing with order. Okay, they don't just happen. Order kind of is more possible because people may just fall in line. But with chaos, no, because humans don't operate like that. Humans, as rebellious as we are, we don't want you sociologically don't want to go against the group, don't want to go against the grain. People can say that they do. They can,
not physically, but in their minds they think they do, but they would never do it as far as the physical world is concerned.
Your actions speak what you do. That's right. Fact. People, what did Batman say in The Dark Knight?
What do you mean?
Doesn't matter what. It don't matter who I am. It matters what I do.
Word.
What you do helps determine who you are. I learned that from older people plenty of times.
And the intentions behind what you do, because sometimes what they're doing isn't the intention. Someone could be doing something you assume to be a good thing.
Your intention is going to lead to what you do. See, it's not just a solo act. See, that's the part of the problem that people look at. It's like, why do these dudes win? Since it's about this time, I saw the Walter Payton Award being, the nominees, Greg Olson, Eli Manning, and another gentleman, J.J. Watt, maybe. Those gentlemen don't just get that award for a one-time action, right? They get that award because they consistently in the community on the grind. It shows where your heart is. You're not just doing it. You wouldn't probably never know what these gentlemen are doing. You see what I'm saying? Some people will.
Right.
A lot of people are on the grind in the community, serving their community, and people have no idea.
So back to the women's rights thing. So you think it was
women's right?
You think it was
what'd you say?
You think it was a group thing?
Hell yeah, it's a group. Hell yes. It's always been, especially when it comes to when women are concerned throughout history. This isn't me being, there's no sexism. This is fact. Go check. You have never seen a push for quote unquote mind you, women's rights or women's issues from a single individual. Never in the history of humanity. Never. Think about that.
Wait, say that again.
You have never seen from a single individual push for quote unquote women's rights or quote unquote women's issues. Never. You've never seen
I don't
that.
have enough information to agree or disagree with that statement.
Okay. You will have, for example, when it comes to men doing things, you will have dudes like I've seen hunger strikes from dude. I've seen you got guys like William Wilberforce in history, where he may have not been the only one that was trying for the abolitionist movement, but he might as well have been. You don't see that for these quote unquote. You see it collectively when they get social pressure. If you ever watch it, even the quote unquote feminist, the feminist movement from the beginning of the 20th century, from the late 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, it was from whom? Privileged women, privileged white women. That's the reality.
Wait, can I ask you something? So with this utopia thing, so you don't think one person of missing or malice intent could switch up a whole population with your utopia idea?
Wait. Number one, I don't believe a utopia can exist on the mortal plane. That's number one.
Well, in peace, the way you presented peace, do you think that it can be
no
a uprising of
no? Because if that was the case, I would be doing it currently. No, it's impossible.
So in a world with evil, do you think that it can be an uprising of peace?
Uprising and peace are contradiction of terms.
What do you mean by that? Not uprising in terms of we're gonna go out and force people to be peaceful. Like, so
no, I didn't say anything about force. I just said uprising and peace are contradiction of terms. They are.
Why is that?
Because an uprising it results in an upheaval or results in a counterstrike towards an oppressive regime. I mean, you maybe not say that leads to peace. You can say that leads to peace, but it's not related to peace.
So how would you get to the peace that you're talking about?
There's a number of ways you can get. Number one, you have to replace the current systems.
And how do you do that?
Well,
someone had to put that motion in place. Would they not?
Number one, you unfortunately, I've said this. It's kind of like in the Bible when you got the Israelites in the desert. You're gonna unfortunately have to have some of these older generations die off. Number one, they're too far gone. They cannot. You got too many people closed-minded. They ain't trying to hear no new. They don't want to. That's number one.
So do you think certain social activists were wasting their time then?
Hell yeah. But I mean, I'm not demeaning them for their activity, and some actually do good work. But hell yeah, because
that's basically what I'm getting. If you're saying that if in the world of peace, no one could go against the grain and have a revolt.
Hold on now.
What did you say?
When did I say that? Personal
you said one person. You said one person can't. What was your exact words again?
One person cannot. Wait, because it was a specific thing.
Something about war or something like that.
Oh yeah, one person can't specifically cause the entire world to go to war. It's impossible. Or have the world go at war against them. One person can't go to war.
I think
one person alone cannot go to war against the world. It's impossible.
I agree with that statement, but I agree that one person alone can influence the possibility of a war starting. Yes, they can.
No. Unless you're talking about on a very small scale, like gang fights and such, no, they can't.
Well,
not a war.
I don't think gang fights are small scale, but see, I
gangs can be from a couple, like 4-5 people to like hundreds, thousands, and if you want to say government, millions. But that's a whole different topic for another day.
So that's why I'm trying to. That's why with that point, I'm trying to understand can that still be said about the other side? Not starting war, but creating peace. Is it impossible to create peace, or at least try to get peace?
Well, you don't create peace. You act. You do. What? Number one, how do you get peace? You were asking, how does this come about? I said besides dismantling, and also said replace the current government with new systems. But besides that,
how do you do that?
How you really get to that point? You start from individual to individual. You get people to think differently.
Which would imply with like, my whole war thing.
Differently. It's different from what you're referring to. What you're referring to is energizing people to collectively think. That's the old model. That's what's already going on out here. That's been going on here since about the dawn of man.
And it's working.
Oh, it is. So
that's what I'm saying.
But if you would notice, there is already a power structure always in place to allow for that to happen. You ever notice that? You don't see that, like when you see uprisings and coups, what happens? A Spartacus situation. What happens? You get a few people going against an already established oppressive regime of tyranny. That's fact. That's fact. It's already, every time you see every war, every movie, you mention One Piece. There's already the world government that's been doing this for nearly 1,000 years, 900 years. You mentioned the Kage system. That's been going on for like 3 generations now. You mentioned Hunter x Hunter. They already got the Hunter Association and pre-established stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's already there. And that's part of the problem. See, people can't see past what's already there. They ain't trying to see past what's already there. I bring up anarchy. Bro, you even recently, with in the J room. Even recently, people didn't even want to hear me. They weren't even entertaining it. But they complain about the current shit. They complain about Trump and this and that. And I'm going,
wait, they weren't entertaining what?
Even the thought of anarchy. I said I'm an anarchist. Instant.
Did you see Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice?
No, I did not watch that, and I'm probably never gonna watch that.
Okay, well this implies if you understand the Superman series, this may imply. But what do you think was the problem with Superman and the human beings between them two? What was the rift between them two?
Well, see, Kal-El, okay, Superman Kal-El. Number one, he himself is a weapon of mass destruction. Without even seeing the movie already, because I seen the scene, I already know, because since I know both characters. And since he's a weapon of mass destruction, let me this is kind of, actually, I meant to mention this earlier. You had mentioned something. I think we had gone on a different path. But here's the problem, and this is what gets people. You mentioned energizing people. Okay? Mainstream media does this all the time, and it's fear tactics.
And it's working.
The terrorists are gonna get us. They're gonna steal these foreigners gonna steal our jobs. Don't go to that area because it's dangerous. Humans fear there, and if you really boil things down, and I kind of do a Descartes and Socrates. I try to go down to the bare minimum, right? There's really only 2 fears. Every other fear extends from this.
What, fear of the unknown?
Yes. What'd you say?
The fear of the unknown.
That's one of them.
And the fear of not being comfortable?
No. Nope.
Why not?
That the uncomfortability is unknown. That falls under that.
Because if Lupe Fiasco was at a radio station, right? And he was having an interview. And real quick, I don't want to deter off what you were trying to say, but
yeah, you're good. You're
good. They're asking callers questions, and they asked if you were able to not go through your struggle and have whatever you wanted in your life to happen off top, like be born with money or with whatever you think success or riches is in your life. If you were able to escape poverty and escape the struggle and obtain that just off of being like not go through your struggle to get to where you wanted to get to? Would you want that to happen? Or would you want to still go through your struggle? Somebody called in and said she still would want to go through her struggle. She doesn't want to be born with riches and all that. Like, what do you think about that?
Depends on what struggle we're talking about. Depends on.
She says she's from the hood and everything she went through in her hood, all the crying or what other stuff that she basically went through in her life made her who she is today.
I know her specific life. See, everybody want to go, oh, I'm from the hood. Not everybody from the hood got the same struggle. Let's be real on it, folks. Let's be real. Just like everybody from the burbs. Just because people think, oh, they from the burb. Bro, let me tell you, there's a bunch of broke-ass people. There's some people more economically disadvantaged, disenfranchised in the burbs. I know, grew up there. In the relative burbs, mind you. In the suburbs. Then there are some people in the inner city. Factually.
Yeah, that's a fact. So
where you see great wealth, I've lived in a number of every region I've ever lived in every city. You had the rich folk and you had homeless and involuntary homeless and a bunch of poor folk right there in every city around the world. Rio de Janeiro, Tokyo, Japan, you name it. New York, you got full blown. You looking at these these palaces. You look at. I remember it was in Nashville, right? And I'm looking at the state capitol building. I'm looking at the courthouse or whatever. Beautiful, just massive, beautiful architecture. Right down the street, you got closed down homes, you got closed down businesses, you got plenty of folk on the street, buildings right there. You looking at poverty and you looking at glitz and glamour going, what the hell? How is this allowed to exist? I'm not saying people have the right to choose, but come on, you talking about being born into something. Bruh, I'm in my own self in a struggle. Best believe that.
So you wouldn't want to escape the struggle you're going through right now to go to this?
Hell yeah! I'm trying to do everything I am to say.
Exactly. That's what he was asking, but she said no. She would still want to go through the struggle.
But what she is talking about is the struggle helps make you who you are. This is true.
But what if you can arrive to that? What if you can arrive to who you are without going through that struggle?
Hell yeah!
So she said she still would want to go through that struggle.
It's a blanket question.
Understand the question though. I don't think she understood the question.
This is the problem with blanket over. She's right. Here's the problem. When you ask wrong questions, you ask overgeneralized, non-specific questions. What she is addressing. Struggle is what makes you who you are. I know, because I've struggled my entire life in a myriad of ways. What my struggle specifically is inherently economic. Period. If I had the income, I would not be in the living condition I am, and it would drastically change my life. It would allow me to do career-wise and otherwise. It's all economic. I need capital. What she's talking about is an entire life. It's not comparable. That's a bad question. I often get on about bad questions. Horrible question. It's not fair.
I was paraphrasing, but
yeah,
I understand what they're trying to ask her. So
and also, let me point this out. And no knock against her. I don't know the situation. I could
link you to the video.
It's all good. I'll probably watch it later. I'll watch it later if you link me. Here's the truth, because it really does. Because I've heard similar stuff before, and I've heard this being said. This is true. And again, I'm not about people, being rich. I'm fine. Look, I'll probably never be super rich, and I don't want to be super rich. If I am, I'll do things with it. Anyways, like trust me, there's so many people I want to help. Regardless, I hear this before. And you know and it's true. The people who say this are whom? The broke folk.
Facts.
Fact. You will never hear anyone. You'll never hear nobody like Mark Cuban say that. You will never hear nobody. No one. Who is it? You think Michael Jordan gonna say, oh yeah. Oh, I want to struggle. What? Here's how you know that's nonsense. It's BS. It's because what good parent wants their child or children to grow up in the same or worse condition that they did? And who wants their children to have a harder future than they had?
Right.
What good parent? Man, you ain't never gonna find one. If they want that, that ain't a good parent. Period. You never want your offspring, and it's probably the same way throughout all nature. You want prosperity. That's why you hear Donald Trump and everybody else talk about prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. Everybody can agree on that. You hear it in churches, you hear it from everywhere. Everybody want prosperity. Because ain't nobody, look, struggle. And again, there's always going to be struggle, because even on some Scarface status, push it to the limit. Let's say you got this. How do you maintain? What do you do with it? All that. It comes with its own struggle, mentally and otherwise, emotionally, all that. But regardless, that's a different type of struggle than you barely getting by. You don't know how you gonna survive paycheck to paycheck. You can't get in over. You think something come up, you can't do nothing. That's that pain, the gato struggle that Naruto is too privileged to understand. Naruto was on that naivete, uber childish ignorance. That's what he was speaking. Nagato was on some grown Madara. That's why Naruto couldn't say nothing to them. You ever notice that? Naruto couldn't respond. Oh, I don't know. Oh, you won't. Okay, you won't. Oh, but what about my family? What about this, that? Oh, I can't say nothing now. See, that's the difference.
Wait, what were you saying? What were you saying about fear?
There is fear of the unknown and there's fear of the other. All fears extend from those two. Every single one. You mentioned fear of what was it? The one you said besides death?
The unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But you said something besides fear of the unknown. Fear of the
I said
not accepted. Oh, what was it?
I said people fear what they don't know, and damn, I forgot.
You said something. I'm telling you, two others. Look at it. Fear the unknown and fear the other. Think of any fear you can think of. Just name one.
Phobias or fear?
Phobias are fear. They're extraordinary fears. I can go into deep with them, but yeah. Any.
Afraid of heights.
Okay. There's multiple. That goes under fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
Oh, you do know what's going to happen to you.
No, you don't.
Why not? What do you mean, no, you don't?
You get up there. Why are people afraid of heights? There's falling. You don't know how you're going to act when you get up there. You don't know how to. You're not used to.
No. Isn't fear of heights subliminal to fear of death?
Fear of death is also fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen.
Isn't fear of heights interconnected with the fear of death? Superman isn't afraid of heights because he can fly.
Superman doesn't fear death.
That's my point. Well, that's not my point. My point is Superman is not afraid of heights because he can fly.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If people are afraid of heights,
he's already lived it. He knows. He's not afraid. He's experienced.
So you're telling me if you're afraid of heights, so you're telling me you can still be afraid of heights and know how to fly?
Why would you know how to fly and be afraid of heights? Think about that.
That's my point.
Wait. What is your point?
I'm saying that people being afraid of heights may be synonymous with being afraid of dying.
And again, I said fear of death is fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It falls under it. So it's correlated, yeah, but it still falls under fear of the unknown. It's just linked.
But what is unknown if you know you're going to die?
Again, you don't know what's going to happen after death.
I don't think people are even thinking that far.
Oh, yes, they are. All the day, all the time. Even the groups that are like, oh, I don't believe in the afterlife. We're just gonna, whatever. I don't fear death.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
They're saying that really. Mm-hmm. Now, it's like the same people like they say, oh, the God haters, not the certain God haters, but the groups. I'm atheist. If you truly hate and were truly against, it would be an anathema to you. Okay, an anathema. You would go away from it like the plague. You wouldn't. Why are y'all consistently talking about this? Why are y'all consistently, antagonizing people. Literally, trust me. I don't go around saying, "Oh, I don't believe in a God. I believe in a God. Damn them atheists." No, I don't. You don't consistently see me making jokes against any. You don't see that. I don't go around saying, "Oh, I don't agree with Islam." So screw. No, you don't see me doing that foolishness.
I heard somebody say before, in time of fear and death, even atheists will reach and look up to a higher power for saving.
All right, because here's the thing. I've said before, Ed. What people don't understand, and it's the same way the foolishness about making a God. Ed, why is it that we knew that flight is possible?
I don't know why.
You see birds. Why do you think we knew we can swim or potentially swim or
We still
cross water?
is it true we still can't explain that to this day?
What flight is?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
They said they
yes
still
and
can't
no.
explain
Yes.
how birds are able to fly.
Well, we know that they have hollow bones and in the air currents and a number of factors, but yeah, we flight is still, natural phenomenon aren't explained. We know this, but you know, I'm gonna keep it real. They're not explained. No, people monitor. No.
It's different than G4 jets flying. Like birds flying is completely different than you
Well,
flying.
you do have some birds that soar, so it's not entirely a different animal altogether. Again, it does have to do with hollow bones, skeletal structure, all that good stuff. The thrust, it just depends on
Well,
the bird.
most of the things they do is soar. They don't flap their wings all the time. They let the wind carry them.
Well, you do have hummingbirds, for example.
Well, yeah, they flap. Yeah,
Ridiculously fast. So there are various physical elements that you can get into, but some above my knowledge base. But I can deduce multiple things. I can reason multiple things. Ooh, a hummingbird. Flap, flap, flap. Humans can't flap. They're
Wait,
almost fast.
what were you saying before I said the bird?
Oh, yeah. I was saying, we know that we can fly because you have birds. You know that swimming or getting across because you see leaves and dolphins and other types of fishes. All to the point, and I've said this time and time again, humans can only conceive of what they deem to be possible. It is literally impossible to conceive of something that the mind doesn't conceive of the impossible. It doesn't. They can only deem what is possible.
Just
And
like
afterlife.
we can't bear to understand what infinity is because we're not infinite.
Exactly. Infinity just doesn't compute. Like, I can gauge, but it depends. Number one, it depends on what you mean by infinity. That's part of the problem. It really does.
Forever.
There's about 5 different versions of infinity you could be referring to.
Endless.
That's not infinity. See,
what's not infinity?
Infinity is a specific term. Endless, that has no meaning. What is that? That
Time.
literally has. Oh, if we're talking about time, see, that's another. First of all, time inherently is not infinite.
I heard time
has a beginning and time has an ending.
What do you think about that?
Time is created. Time is created. It's not eternal. Eternal overrides time. Thus, time itself is limited. Time has a beginning. Time has an end. It's temporal. That's why we mentioned temporal. It inherently has limits. You have a beginning, you have an end. If you don't, it's eternal.
Where's the end?
What'd you say?
Where's the end of time?
It depends on what your reference point is. Depends on specifically what you're referring to. Either that or it's eternal. It's timeless. Time itself is a.
I always ask that. If people say the universe is growing, where is it growing to, and what is it growing from?
It's not going anywhere. What going? Number one, what exactly is the universe? See, I keep asking that question to people. No one's giving me answers. Just like, where's the origin? Show me case the origin. You can't do it scientifically, especially.
So is the universe infinite then?
No. Unless unless you want to refer to the universe as all reality, which actually includes thought. But then again, reality itself is limited. Because Not now. You want to know a term that's very difficult to understand, if impossible? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Actual nothingness.
Exactly. I've never understood that at all.
I've gone in depth, and I've gone in with a friend. It goes into very, very deep.
The closest someone has ever explained nothing to me is picturing all black. But isn't black something?
Nope. That exactly.
So what is nothing?
Something.
Black is something. Black is something we can think about. Black is a thought. Black is a word. So when you show me this blank screen and say that's nothing, no, that's something because I'm seeing something.
Space and time are still something. See what I'm saying? Oh, I would love to talk to quote unquote brother polite and what's his face. Oh, I would love to talk to them about this.
That's definitely something they can't explain. But people say, well, just because we can't explain it doesn't mean it's not true. But that's a whole nother.
Look, you can't do that because I can't. Like I love how people want to say,
I heard this so much. Just because we can't explain it doesn't mean that yeah, okay.
Oh, then you don't know what you're talking about. Look, bro. Look, it's okay to be ignorant. We all ignorant of something. Exactly. I'm not a nuclear physicist. There's a lot I don't know. That's okay. Why is it a problem to admit that you don't know, that you could be wrong? People say this about me, Ed. Oh, he doesn't admit it that he's wrong. Ed, how long have you known me, and how many times have I admitted when I was wrong?
You do. Many times, and you it's impossible to go through like, well, it is possible, but that's for idiots. But for those who think, you can't possibly go throughout your life if you're a thinker and say you're not wrong or you don't know something. It's
exactly impossible. I mean, I love how people just want to overknow it. It's usually over One Piece. How many times have I said, or somebody's corrected me with a manga pen, or I forgot about. I remember one time I forgot about Ace was even in Drum Island. I couldn't even remember. There's a lot of reasons, because Drum Island is the worst arc in One Piece by far. Wapol is complete trash. That's the only character that's complete garbage in the series. I mean, that every other character.
Let's not get into Wapol. Let's not get into
Wapol. I mean, for those who, because some people think I'm completely biased. Hell no, bro. You don't know.
I don't even think there's a Wapol fanboy.
And even in Wapol's case, because the genius of Oda, I still actually care about his garbage ass because of him being, Oda had to make him with Wapol metal. But actually, I do actually care about him at the Reverie because it's going to be very fascinating. But because that's just Oda's genius. A character I can't stand, I still care about. In fact, actually, Hiro Mashima kind of has me do that. Except Erza, I just want her to take an L. Just please, come on, man. Erza Scarlet, I want her to take an L so bad. Erza and Fairy Tail. No. You're exactly about it. I have never, in all my years, and I tell people, I've watched and read so much fiction, I've forgotten most of it. I have never in all my years of being involved in fiction wanting a character to take an L so... Bruh, I get so heated. Bruh, there was a couple fights, Ed. You can't explain this. One of it, this is the answer we got. We're going to get an explanation. Hero through Happy the Cat says, because it's Erza. What? Bro.
That was the explanation?
That's what we got. Ed, understand the level of this. Even Fairy Tail fans flipped out. Bruh. And it wasn't even the worst case, mind you. It was one of them. Understand. And this doesn't happen to any other character. Now, people talk about the friendship powers. Erza, she goes, because at least not to, people struggle. She had all her 5 senses instantly taken away. Not only that, the pain threshold was increased like 10 or 20 times. How do you have all 5 of your senses? It was either taken away or heightened, something along those lines. But pretty much, bro, what? It's kind of alluded because she dealt with torture. I don't care. You could have been. I don't want to get too explicit, But think of the worst torture, sexually or otherwise, you can imagine. I don't care what you done been through. I don't care if you like the Zodiac family. There is no explaining that. I don't care if you the Incredible Hulk. You better be God Almighty. Because that ain't make no sense. All 5 of your senses plus all the pain? How?
Didn't you tell me before there's more than 5 senses?
Yeah, 5 physical senses. Okay. All your 5 physical senses at one time. You done lost your sight, your hearing, your sense of smell, your taste, your feeling, your touch. You understand the level of disorientation that would be, number one? Then, on top of that, you increase the pain? Bro. Now, you could say, well, shouldn't that be a contradiction because you can't feel? Well, you're still nerves. So,
I mean, it wouldn't be pain by what we understand as pain, but she would feel something.
Yeah, you still feel sensation because of nerves. See, pain is usually associated with the sense of. I mean, it is technically nerves, but it is associated with you.
Touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just there's levels of pain. Like when you're touching your phone, you're not in pain, so to speak, but you're in pain.
Yeah. There's pressure, and it's how much pressure in your pain threshold, and there's a number. Like, but you can still.
When you place a hammer on your finger, you're not in pain, but when you hit your hand with a hammer, you're in pain then.
And it may go even beyond, because it's like 3rd-degree burns. You technically, if it's burned through the nerve, you technically shouldn't feel. But is it possible for somebody to feel pain? Yeah, possible. Broken bones. Your bones don't have nerves, but could it be that you feel pain when that thing snaps? Yeah, possibly. So there's a number of things to take back.
It's like when you see somebody break something and you say you basically felt it.
Yes.
And you didn't even go.
Yes. Oh yeah, I've seen some nasty. And that's why some people, like, they saw a guy's leg snap. I'm like, yeah, I was kind of numb to it because I'm like, I've seen some, I've felt some pains. I felt pains that like when you going through pain, talking about pain, you going through pain or you going through a struggle, you ain't want no man. You don't even want your worst, if you have an enemy, you don't want your worst enemy to go through some of the stuff you don't deal with. Like some of the struggles I deal with, like, I don't want anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't want you to go through this. This is just no. It may not be the worst thing under the sun, but it's enough that it's like, no. Ain't nobody, nobody should be dealing with this nonsense. No.
So to the whole point of nothingness. So you don't. I forgot.
I don't think the mind can't. I don't think the mind's engineered.
Yeah, that's right. You can't perceive an omnipotent being if you've never experienced it.
No, see that's a little bit different. We can conceive potentially, at least vaguely, omnipotence, because all it is all powerful. Think of it like this. All right. Now,
yeah, but that's like when people ask the question, if God is also powerful, can he make something that he can't lift?
I don't think people understand the concept. And I broke this down to my friend. This is how I break it down, right? Sometimes you got to be cat mom. Sometimes you got to be basic. How they say reading rainbow, you got to take them back to kindergarten, right? Now hear me out, Ed. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence.
Word.
But all powerful. But Ed, what does all powerful mean? Omnipotent. What all powerful? What does that mean for the people? Please educate.
That's exactly what you just said. All power. I don't know what other words I could put it into that can explain that.
That means, so that question, can God make a box that he can't?
Context clues. What does all and powerful mean?
Exactly. Let's break this down. Let's dissect this.
Let's read between the lines.
No, there ain't no read between no lines. Here's line A and line B. All powerful. All powerful.
That's what I got from
it. He create.
There's nothing to explain. All powerful.
Can he lift it? Can he lift? What kind of? First of all, how can you create something that you can't do? That inherently makes no sense.
Exactly.
And number two, even so, why would you? That is pointless. Now you can say, why are you adding purpose? Because it's called work. Okay, work. The ability to move.
The answer to that question is null and void because it's not even.
Exactly.
It's not even it's not even of relevance. Like it's to the thought. Like it's just like the whole thinking about nothing thing. You can't. The thought about it is just like.
Well, actually, at least that's beneficial. This whole can God, if he is all powerful, then that answers your question. It is literally impossible if he is all powerful. Then if he's not, then he's not all powerful. And because false logic, they want to do the false dichotomy. No, they're
trying to punch you through a loophole by saying, well, if he can create something he can't lift, then he's not all powerful. And if he can't create it, then he's still not all powerful.
By definition, he can't do it. Because it's the definition of all powerful. Inherently, it's an inherent trait. It's like saying, oh, a cat is naturally born with claws. Well, that's what it is. There ain't no if a cat didn't have claws, a cat's born with claws. What what are we talking about here?
If a human being isn't a human, then can you the sentence itself doesn't make any sense. What do you mean if a human being isn't a human?
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
It's like saying, I've never heard of this case, but it may have happened. But that's like saying, well, if you didn't have a skeletal structure of 206, well, I do have a skeletal structure of 206. If I didn't, then I wouldn't be me. What are we talking about here? That's like saying, oh, well, if a human was a tortoise, well, that a tortoise is a tortoise and a human's a human.
Exactly.
It's that's why you often hear me talk about essence, and oh yeah, that's like another one with God, omniscience, right? Well, if he would know, and I love how the fact of he know it all, then why would he allow? Number one, free will.
I think the bottom line of their questions is still applying stuff that applies to us to something that's not us. Why are you applying something that has nothing? Like you're basically making God a human being when you make all these questions.
Let's take it a step further. Let's take it a step further. You're not. What is your objective here? Are you trying to disprove? Are you trying to discredit? What exactly is the objective? I want to know your objective for asking these questions first and foremost. Let's be genuine, not disingenuous. You're asking about an omniscient being. Oh, if he can see now, Ed. Okay, here's a great question I have for people. Right? They ask, well, if a God already knew it, so what if you knew? That's like asking, well, the parent knew that if the kid, now it gets a little more complicated than this, but hear me out. The child is now about 17, 18 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are hanging out with this group of friends, possibly going to a party or not. Doesn't matter. They're just hanging out with this group. Now, the parents know that this group is not necessarily a bad group, because probably wouldn't allow the kid to child, or would definitely be against. But it's questionable. Okay? They're shady individuals. We all know shady individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those shady individuals may become good, upstanding people later on down the line, but we're not talking about that. At the time, the parent knows. Now, God knows all. People say knows all. But the parent knows that the child most likely will get in trouble with them, or will get in trouble with them. And the parent still allows for the child to do. Is that necessarily a bad parent? Just the parent knows and still allows it.
It's true.
Because you know what? There's something called free will. There's something called choice. There's something called testing to see if you're going to make the right decision, to see if you're going to go by what your parents tried to teach you behind. It's called being an adult.
So what about the people that says free will doesn't exist?
Then you know what they believe in? Slavery. You know what they believe in? Automatons. Because there are actually some people who would just say we're just machines. Really? Now, if that's the case, some will go, well, emotions can be at. Now, here's the problem with that just machine factor, right? Now, if we were just machines following it, Ed, Ed,
Yeah.
have you ever conversed with a good number of people? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard some of the ideas that come out of people's mouths?
Yep.
Now, Ed, if we were all automatons, right? Why would automatons go against their very best nature?
They wouldn't.
They couldn't compute. It's insanity. I know of nothing, nothing from I can present examples in this world as well as in fiction. Isaac Asimov, for example. But let's just go with, I'm looking at some cars, right? Now cars don't have sentience. Now that's a whole nother thing. The fact that we have sentience makes that argument null and void, by the way. But besides that, let's go in the hypothetical. Cars can think for themselves, right? Now, Ed,
Cars can think for themselves.
Let's just hypothetically.
Oh,
in
okay.
the humans, because we're just machines, right?
Right.
These cars can relatively not sentient, but can think. They have a computer that, it can drive itself, kind of on some Batman status. Okay, it knows where it's going, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that car going to say, let me put this paint on me that will corrode my insides? Is that car going to do that?
Not unless it's Iron Man's computer.
Not unless it's what?
Iron Man's computer.
That it's going to put a paint job to corrode its insides?
It can't, because it has to be computed to do that.
We're getting on. Okay, let's go a little bit AI, a little artificial, not necessarily sentient.
Even AI has to. I think even AI has to compute.
But someone can argue, if you're talking about a god, that we are computed to a certain degree, which makes things very fascinating. We already have a computation, but yet here's the fascinating part about free will that no one ever takes into consideration: the fact that there's a question of agnosticism and atheism. Think about that. No one ever thinks the fact that there are various views showcases free will. See, once it goes back to what we said, Ed, actions, not thoughts, actions. How is it that there isn't free will when there's various options that people come up with? How is it that we have various perspectives on the same exact matter if there is not free will? Even among the same sex, there isn't the same view. Even within the same family, there's not the same view. Am I missing something? Maybe I am. I don't know everything. I'm no God. But I'm confused. How is it that you can have a multitude, and people talk about all the religions, right? The 6,000, how many ever, the so-called religion.
There's 6,000 religions?
I don't know. It's something around there. It's a lot of junk.
I don't even think that's possible.
All religions, cults, and everything else. The various philosophies.
How is that possible when they say the majority of the world is Christian? And
yeah, that what is actually Christian is questionable as hell.
Facts, but you know what I mean by that, right? Like, if they say the majority of the world is this, and then the other majority is, how is that?
Who is making these charts anyway? That's what I want to know.
That's a fact. Who's going to every single person on Earth and asking them what their denomination?
Denomination. It's funny about denominations how if your denomination denies certain things, then you're not Christian. It's just what it is. Because you're going back. That's factual.
Steve says this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
I've been told various times. It's funny how. Now I don't come and tell it. Now I will say I and it's true. There's so many so-called atheists. I know more about atheism than they do. Sure. You have dudes out here trying to say agnostic atheism. That is a contradiction of terms philosophically. You don't know philosophy, sir. You don't. You're ridiculous. Also, a lot of people want to come out here and try to tell me what I believe without even know. How the heck? No, wait a second. You ain't never. You don't study. And my favorite is like, Now you have theologians, you have various people in various fields study their entire lives and decades and barely know. And you want to try to tell me you look over like 2 weeks or a couple of days and apparently you know more. It's somebody like a guy like me who studied this junk for years. Now I ain't as much as my pops, but I'll study as much as years. And you want to try to tell me, and again, I'm not saying I know everything, but come on, you trying to tell me. And then when you start bringing up, I have to ask Ed, do you want me to bring up scientifically? Do you want me to bring up historically, psychologically, philosophically, sociologically? Like what evidence and what it comes down to, people don't want evidence. They don't want logic, reason, facts, and evidence. They don't want that. They don't. If it doesn't go along with their agenda, they don't want that. On some
I think he was talking to you, though.
What'd you say?
I said, I think he was talking to you.
Who?
Speeds. In the comment section, he says this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. I love how everybody say that, right? What could he please refer to what the hell he's referring to? See, this is my problem. Everybody says I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me address this because I address this every time. I've addressed this in various groups and whatnot. Now, I'm about to get a little sensitive for a lot of people, right? I'm about to push because that's what I do. I have to deal with the truth, right? God forbid that a young black male can actually be intelligent, can actually be intellectual. God forbid. Yes, I say that specifically. And the reason I say it because I've actually, and no other race, including with no other group, not black women, nothing. No one questions intelligence. But when it comes to black, I've dealt with this my entire life. I know this is factual. No other group except young black males get questioned. Oh, you think you know stuff. Oh, you don't, you acting like you know. What you mean you act? God forbid that he actually has knowledge. God forbid he actually put the time in research. Oh, I don't know something. I've been called stupid. I've been called idiotic. I've been called uneducated. Oh my goodness. I could go into other words, more so than what I've been called. I'm stupid, idiotic, and uneducated. Really? Really? How literate are you? How articulate are you? How studied in these various fields are you, sir or madam, ma'am? Please share with me your great wealth of knowledge and wisdom. I would love to hear this.
Mm-hmm. I took a class, philosophy of education, and my teacher said a lot of people have there's very few people on this earth that have knowledge. Yep. And a lot of people are moving off of information. Information doesn't equate to knowledge. So unless you're knowledgeable, meaning there is no going back, meaning everything you're saying is completely factual, then you can't point blame at somebody for speculating or something that they're saying. You can't say he doesn't know unless you know. Because there's very few people on this earth that knows what knowledge really is.
Epistemology, ladies and gentlemen, the study of knowledge.
Disputed. If there's any form of it being not true, then it's not knowledge.
Please let me know. I ain't more than anybody. People say I don't want to hear. I'm not open to opinions. Number one, I will explain this. I've done videos. I've done other things, and I think Ed would appreciate this. I don't deal in opinions, and I'll tell you why I don't deal in opinions. Because they're not like views and viewpoints. I can accept speculation to a degree, because it at least does some kind of logic. I don't deal in opinions because opinions don't need to be validated.
Well, with that being said, half of the things, the 99% of what people say every day is opinion.
Oh, it's my opinion, so now I'm safe. But you can blast me for whatever I say, but you are protected because that's called hypocrisy. That's called doublethink. That's called being two-faced. Not no pun intended for the greatness, but the greatness of Harvey Dent. But anyways, yeah, I get this. I consistently get this, Ed, from various groups of people. But you know it's funny on the irony, right? I have, and it's no bragging, it's just facts. I'm quite relatively accepted, not full blown, but I can speak various classes of people, various groups of people. I'm talking from younger people all the way to people 2, 3, 4 times my age. And to discuss in we discuss intellectually. You know why? Because number one, they're open-minded, or at least reasonable enough to not be all up in their emotions and oversensitive. They actually, you know what I've been said? Oh, you're knowledgeable and well-informed. Now, some of these people are some very successful people in various fields. Now, how is it that some random dude can come over here and say, "Oh, you're not intelligent"? Well, sir, you out here cussing me out and stuff. You out here, what is okay? Actions. Now, Ed, what if a lot of these people kind of reminds me of a lot of people in the hood and whatnot, right? A lot of these people out here, what kind of stuff do they post on their Facebook, social media, and other outlets?
Nothing.
I'm just saying.
Nothing that proves intelligence.
Nothing. Now I post some funny stuff. You know this. I post all kinds of stuff.
But I say that when I look at stuff like that, there are people who self-proclaim that they're conscious, and
conscious.
I say there's a difference between what you think in your mind and how you carry out your quote-unquote consciousness. If the mind and body isn't intact and soul, some people say, if the mind, body, and soul isn't thinking as one, then you haven't reached that peak yet. You may think like you're conscious, or you may have a active mind, but if your body and the way you live your life and your social media accounts and all that stuff isn't in sync with your quote-unquote consciousness, then what are we talking about?
And I'll take it a step further. We didn't talk. Conscious is the wrong word. See, that's number one where that community, any who use that term, fall off. I get. They say stay woke, be woke. Now that can mean a number of things. But let me expound upon what you just said, sir, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what they should be referring to is enlightenment. And let me tell you, very few men or persons in this world, Yeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Jesus of Nazareth was one of them. Some could consider maybe Gandhi, maybe me. There are very few people potentially that would have actually been enlightened.
What do you mean by some? You don't think Gandhi was enlightened?
Well, some people say the man was a racist. Some people say various things about Gandhi. Okay.
Wasn't he one of the biggest human rights activists?
Yeah, I know, right?
How's he racist?
They want to say, well, he was racist against black people. Man, look here, dog. I don't care. Personally, I don't care his views. I don't care if he didn't like a certain people. That could have been multiple reasons why he didn't like a certain people. And that has nothing to do with the man talking about peace. Seriously. But that, whatever, we majoring in the minors, as my pops would say. But enlightened, in case those who don't know, I'm talking about you done transcend, you on some next level. You ain't not exactly like Buddhism's enlightenment, but pretty close.
But how can you transcend if only one half of you is transcended, quote unquote?
If what has transcended?
How can you transcend if the flesh doesn't follow the mind?
Ah, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like people.
That's why I brought up Buddhism.
People misconstrue their minds being at a certain, what they think is at a certain level, but their bodies and their way they act out and the way they act in their lives isn't in sync with what they think.
The martial arts, which most people aren't into and don't respect. It's just like they say boxing is such a sport. I don't blame Floyd and them for saying that, but it's a martial art. The martial arts do what exactly, Ed? For those who don't know.
The martial arts?
The martial arts, yeah.
What I was just talking about. It helps you sync
exactly.
the body and the mind.
Spirit and soul, every part of the person. It's not just you fighting in self-defense. It's all a part. You can see from movies and otherwise, from sweeping some steps. Because art, see, what people don't understand what art is. Art is performing any task skillfully. And I don't just mean skillfully. I'm talking about masterfully skillfully. Any task, that becomes art. People don't think like that. Anything becomes art. It does. But there are very few masters, are there not?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why there's very few people who've actually reached enlightenment. Because what you're doing is you're transcending just basic mortal stuff. moral concerns. I'm not saying you're not aware, you're not conscious of it, but it's the concerns of this world. You're gonna be on that, and to do that, ooh, let me tell you, that's some tough stuff right there. Very difficult.
The internet and interacting with other people have people confused on whether or not they're smart or woke or whatever they want to call it. People are very confused.
Oh yeah, and also the reason I separated, I'm mentioning enlightenment rather than conscious, is because there are three levels of consciousness when it comes to biological elements, if you will, biological persons, okay, or entities. You have number one, the fact that you actually are surviving, like your body is surviving. It is conscious. It is operating. Pretty much you can be in a vegetative state and be conscious.
Yeah, when you sleep, your body is still functioning.
Exactly. That's conscious.
You don't control
You're still living. Number two, and where most people are, there are levels to this. It gets very broad and gray, but it's to where you're not simply subsisting. You are interacting with the world. I'm just saying, you're interacting with the world. Yeah, you got some reactions and your impulses and all that and stimuli that can go from bare minimum of straight instinct to, someone knows how, I just passed the bank. Someone knows how to work within a system. You could be, really droning, but maybe sophisticated. You run a system. You're running systems. Now, third level of consciousness, philosophical. Some of say I'm being biased. No, because what does philosophy do? I'll throw this to Ed before I answer that one. What does philosophy do?
It helps you. What does it help you do, or what do you do when you're a philosopher?
What do you do? What do you do with philosophy?
Question everything.
There is that, but a lot of people are skeptical and they ain't philosophizing.
Not skeptical enough.
There's that. I'll put it this way to go a step further than what you said, because question is,
listen to Kendrick Lamar's Mortal Man.
I still say Kendrick Lamar is overrated. The man is a poet, true, but he is not conscious. Everybody want to say this man conscious. No, he's not. He's not a conscious rapper. Please stop.
Right. Have you heard his album To Pimp a Butterfly?
Album of what?
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Hold on, you're breaking up. What you say?
I said, did you hear his album To Pimp a Butterfly?
Number one, that name is. I'm sorry, but
you don't have to listen to the album. I just want you to listen to a song called Mortal Man by Kendrick Lamar. Just listen to that song.
All right. I'm gonna check it out. Because every time people want to suggest a song, say, "Oh, she's so hot." I'm listening. I'm like, what? He ain't really talking about anything.
And for those who heard that song, I'm not talking about the part when he's speaking to Tupac. I'm talking about the first half. His last bars is what I'm speaking.
What was his last bar?
Basically, he says he starts to question everything.
Okay.
Like every single thing around him. The grass, his breath, everything he starts to question.
I mean, one can say that's the beginning. When I'm saying philosophizing,
that's just the beginning.
I'm talking about thinking. And Ed, could you kindly explain to the people what I mean by thinking about thinking? Because people they'll hear that and like, what is this nigga saying? Really, that's gonna be the response.
You're in thought. You're in thought, and you're questioning what even thought is.
Yep.
Like, where is this coming from? It's the whole. That's what we spoke about earlier about nothingness. What is nothing? Like, why am I able to think right now? Where is this coming from? Like, we talked about that in philosophy too, ethics.
Yep.
But just simple fact that I'm thinking, I think, therefore I am.
Yep.
Just that simple fact.
Rene Descartes, baby. Rene Descartes.
Yep. I think, therefore I am. Just the fact that you're thinking, you're in deep thought. Like, yo, what is this? What is all this stuff around me? Why am I even thinking? Like, where is this coming from? What's the essence of thought? Stuff like that.
What is being? What is reality? What is freedom? here's how you know when I talk about levels of consciousness and why the reason I say most people are at level 2. And you notice from just dealing with me and just dealing with people, if you or I brought up what is freedom, what are the normal responses we're gonna get from people?
The ability to do whatever you want.
No, that's actually what freedom is. But no, I didn't mean definition. I said the responses we'll get from people if I even ask that question.
They probably say it doesn't exist.
Some might, which is it's actually a debatable thing, which I'm actually okay with. I see that you actually be dealing with some intelligent folk. Typical responses I'll get for the average Joe, if you will. Why are you asking that question? It's an obvious answer. What does the dictionary say? Now, I do bring up the dictionary.
Nah, no one asked me that. No one I speak to about that. I mean, I don't see. I understand who to gauge. Well, I shouldn't even say that because you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. So from a deep,
I did what a lot of people had.
Yeah, from a deeper thought, I say that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover because you don't know who knows what. But
at the same time,
that being said, I know who to engage certain conversations with and who not to engage certain conversations.
But sometimes here's where to the quote unquote conscious folk, right? People be talking, you think I done been there. This is why I don't even try that conscious or not or what I think may or known. Because I done found that there is triggers to almost everybody. Almost everybody. You think or certain topics they don't want to talk about. They refuse to discuss. It's like whatever. It's like my issue I had, and I still have respect for him. But issue with Uber Hikari years ago. Where I do still have respect, but my respect for him dropped. Because he said some very erroneous claims and statements about God in the Bible. And all I did was question. And I said, can we, I wanted a discussion. Now, I know he knew me because I've been subscribed for years. I know people. I'm in this community a long time. YouTube anime mark community. And a lot of folk know me. Hell, my names that got out before I don't even know people when my names are made waves. And he just outright would not discuss with me. Now, here you are, sir. Number one, you have, for those who don't know who he is, and I'm not shaming, he is the one who talks about how he studies literature and stuff. Now, the phone did throw shots years ago, talking about how can you be saying you so smart when you say the nerd nigga. That's just that's
true.
A question.
That's a contradiction.
The nerd nigga. What'd you say?
So that is a contradiction.
Phone's an intelligent brother in his own right. He is my favorite. He is my favorite reviewer in the community. I just gotta say that. I think he's hilarious and he keeps it factual generally. But
that also falls in line with me saying, does the body and the mind are they in sync?
Exactly. And also, I'm not gonna get on anybody because I don't exactly always keep to the top of my shape for various reasons.
That's true.
Time,
but
man.
We're not perfect. That falls in line with we're not perfect, man.
Yeah, we're not perfect. And plus you can't always be as active as you would like. Various things happen in life. We know this. The struggle is very real.
There's always a curveball.
Yeah. I would love to be in Boston, but again, talking about going back to the whole capital thing, yes. Anyways, I would love in the pursuit of professional career, go back to capital. But I got to be able to survive out here. Hope to remedy. Anyways,
I have to be alive in order to be an activist.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to survive first in order to make it out.
That's why I've been on the struggle. The struggle is very real. Yes, there's a lot of people. Oh, what you mean? You don't think we tried like that? Like, oh yeah, this is a tangent, but this is on the similar things that we talk about here: the mind, the body, and whatever. People out here don't recognize how privileged they are. They think everybody in YouTube can just get on. Like, I love how people come at my channel, right? Now, Jenna Marbles and various YouTubers got big off of some bootleg cameras, even worse than mine. Facts. I've been in this a long time. Bootleg. It don't matter about everybody like, oh, camera. I done seen some people that got the fanciest, got the greatest programming. You know what they cell count look like? They cell count ain't looking much better than mine. Just saying, facts. There's a whole slew of reasons why people watch your stuff and don't watch your stuff. Mine also goes for a various niche. Also, people don't do long-term videos for the most part. Unless you already have an established fan base. And this goes out to all of media, by the way.
If your video is more than 5 minutes, you're not going to keep that audience.
It's short attention. That's how, and not knocking him because that was his original content. But why you think Forever, he intentionally nerfs his channel. You think he wouldn't like this sometimes, and he does it sometimes. You don't think he would like, Sawyer does it too. Phone does it. They ain't stupid. Cole, Chibi, they all do short. It's not that they're not informed. It's that they know that people's intentions, they ain't gonna watch nothing. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm just not gonna nerf myself. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna pull a double four and do these outrageous videos either. No, I ain't gonna do that. Just for the subs. Hell yeah, I can use that YouTube money. What you mean? I ain't gonna do that. I guarantee you, if I made ridiculous comment, or if I brought up theories earlier that aren't theories, right? Dog, hey, you want to see some of the nonsense I've seen? Oh, Luffy gonna unlock monkey. Like, okay, I may entertain occasionally some of these just to see what people have to say. Luffy gear fit. Oh, monkey god unlocked. Fuck, what?
What?
That exactly. Oh, look it up. YouTube. You can find multiple videos. Gear Fist. Gonna be this. OPX. What? We must not be in the. Here's another thing. Since we talking about anime, manga, in real life out here.
I think Luffy's gonna hit more than 5 gears.
Exactly. Ask Sean Holmes. Shout out to Sean, by the way. Put him mad work with his theories. But he gets mad when I start talking about Luffy already probably having, and I think he does, have Gear 5th. I've been said that. Said that years ago. I said Gear 4th years ago. And people were like, well, before even it started the momentum, because I'm like, yeah, he needs Gear 4th. Now, I wasn't right because Oda threw in curveballs, but
as soon as I heard of a Gear 2nd, I was like, okay, this is gonna be more of this shit.
Well, no, for me, as soon as I saw Gear 3rd, it's like, okay. And understand, this was just pre-time.
The reason I said that is I wanted to know what's next. When I saw him steam up, and turn Gear 2nd, I'm like, okay, I like this, but I know there's gonna be more because the series is just started. Yeah, really just started. He was just facing the big boys, the big guns, the big players. Well, he had the whole Buggy thing, but he just got into like the
I mean, he had Buggy, had Sir Crocodile.
Yeah.
But Rob Lucci, I mean, he done already met an admiral. So that's what I meant. He really not starting to meet the big players. So he already got pwned. Come on now. And then you got what I was about to say. I mean, it's a potential, and I've said it years ago, Gear 6. Even now, in recent years, I've said a potential of Gear 7 because I learned Oda uses, talking about real life, Oda uses. Give it to Oda to use a Gear 6. Here's the thing. Each does different stuff. If people are like, well, why against Joker? Why wouldn't he use it? Because number one, he didn't need to. Luffy is a fighting genius, as I keep saying it. But not only that, if you ever notice how he fights, he only uses what the situation requires. Fact. He pulls a Son Goku like they measure. Uchiha the same thing. These fighting geniuses, they measure to see what they need to use. Also, a Gear 5th, potentially, he may have barely mastered it at all, and it could have a horrible repercussion. I've said it before. There is a potential that he defeats Kaido. Does that make him Yonko level? No. You have a skill that can defeat a very powerful opponent doesn't mean you on their level.
There's a comment, and I asked who was the person talking to, and Speed says, "You dub. Tell him it's Speed Eyes, and if he didn't have me blocked, I would enter and shut him up."
I don't know what Speed Eyes is your foolishness. You know why you blocked your trolling ass. You go somewhere with all that. You know exactly why you block. Because you kept trying to come for the head. Why folks saying trying to come for my head? If I want nothing, why you coming for my head? Come on now. But yeah, speed eyes. Come on, speed eyes now. The fact I got you blocked on like 2 accounts. Come on now. The fact you got 2 accounts. Come on now. That's almost how you can guarantee trolls, man. The fact they got about 3-4 accounts, man, ready lined up. But yeah, man.
So, is there any series that you think, or that you read or watched, that is as accurate to our real life experiences?
In which regard are you referring to? Overall, in the general aspect?
Like a fantasy, like a story like Berserk. How accurate do you think Berserk would be?
Berserk. First of all, Berserk. Now I'm not completely caught up. I will preface that, but I have caught flack because I dare to criticize the Holy Grail that is Berserk in its beginning. Seriously, people talk about the religious, man. They be ridiculous. Anyways,
let's take a light. If you don't want to talk about Berserk, let's take a light series like Hajime no Ippo or Kuroko no Basket. Like how accurate do you think those are?
Well, first of all, Kuroko
no Basket is not accurate at all.
Hajime no Ippo is accurate for the most part.
Kuroko is not accurate at all. I know that.
What?
Kuroko was not accurate at all. Like the way
Kuroko is accurate. This is what people miss. I love basketball. I grew up playing. I actually understood it, and I did a whole 36-minute video addressing the foolishness at the end of the series with the Winter Cup. Now, one of the things I will address, okay, Ed, listen to the foolishness that people speak. Now, coming into the series, right, you have vraiment. He is shooting 3-pointers from – this dude can shoot pretty much anywhere on the court. People had no problems with that, right?
Right.
Kisei, who I think it was the first, he can copy any ability. People had no problem with that. None. You went into Aomine. This dude can hit. Now, he didn't shoot threes, but in his shot, this man had his back parallel to the ground making jump. This dude is throwing it pretty much everything. And also, Midorima was pretty much 100% accurate. Okay? He was 100% accurate through most of the series. So, mind you that. 100% accuracy deep. Aomine. This man on some LeBron James, Michael Jordan type stuff. No problem. These dudes scoreless. This was Core's the end arc, but Murasaki Bar. This dude was pretty much unstoppable. Nobody had qualms. We get to the captain. Akashi Seijuro greatness. They have a problem because he has an Emperor Eye that allows him to do this move called Ankle Breaker and a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a second. Oh, and they have a problem with Saren winning. Now, understand, Saren isn't just some trash squad. Okay, if it was a series, then they're winning in probably 5 games. Rikuzen wins. Akashi's team, maybe 6. But they're winning an NBA, in a series. But it's 1 game. Saren's been doing it. Saren has arguably the second best offense in the series, or maybe 3. It's at least top 3. And their defense is probably top 5 of all teams in the series.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes have one dude who's on the level of the Generation of Miracles. Okay? Kagame Taiga. You have another dude who's on the level right below, and Kuroko. Even though overall he's not the good, he just has some ridiculous abilities. Then you got Hyuga Junpei and a couple. They got a squad. And people seem to have. This is what happens, Ed, when people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I know basketball. I would. one of my all-time favorite anime manga. I don't rock with the anime. Nothing personal. I just not my taste. But
what series?
Kuroko. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not. I just don't happen to like the animation. Hajime no Ippo the same way. I love the mangas, love the story. I just don't happen to like the anime. Not that they're bad. I just don't like it. Personal taste. And see, I can admit that. Okay. See, a lot of people. Oh, it's my personal taste that makes it bad. No. They're good. I just don't happen to like the style that they use. JoJo's for the most part. Same thing. Love the manga. Don't happen to really like the anime. Like, I don't see how we can, not differentiate quality just because I happen to not like something. But, what else is new, right?
Word. He said, shut up, you dub. I'm not a troll. You just can't handle guys that disagree with you. I've never came for your head once. I just exposed your nonsense, especially with how you suck off Luffy.
How I suck off Luffy? Really? I happen to recall.
I'm not paraphrasing. That's the exact quote.
Well, sir, apparently you haven't seen my 7 sides of Luffy video. Number one, apparently, yes, he is my 5th favorite character in fiction history. My 2nd in anime and manga. But Straw Hat Monkey D. Luffy. But you will not know that I have criticized Luffy. Yes, I have. Definitely. I criticize everybody. I'm fair. I just happen to understand his character, which most people don't. It's that simple. I mean, wait, what are you talking about here? In fact, I mean, I barely ever talk bad about Zoro. Nobody ever comes at my head about Zoro. Zoro's my dude. He's my 2nd favorite character in the series. Hell, like, do I really need to start listing characters that I love? Kurama's amongst my top 10 or so. Kurapika, I love Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter. But if you watch any of my reviews, that I criticized Kurapika in this recent arc. I did it in this stream. I love Kurapika. If Kurapika is one of the most characters that I actually would be in anime manga. Very similar to him. But he doing so stupid right now. I love the fact that the young Don's back. But he doing some stupid. Kaneki Ken was my dude. But he did some stupid. Luffy's my dude. He personally does some stupid. But what I've said in the past is that when it comes to others, when it comes to being a captain, and when it comes to other people, he has never made a mistake once. He himself does some stupid stuff. Same thing with Son Goku. But when it comes to other people, Son Goku has not made a mistake. I know the flaws of the characters. The flaws are part of why I like those certain characters. Because they don't sugarcoat. Because they're not like Naruto and Ichigo. I'm gonna keep it real. If people want to say I do this, all right. I want to know specifically from the person what it is that is so heinous about loving a character.
I mean, if you don't like the main character, why watch the series?
That ain't true. Hunter. I don't rock with Gone Freaks at all. At all.
So how do you enjoy the series?
Because there's so many other characters to love. I love me some Hisoka.
It's revolved around Gon though. So
no, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't. All right. Nah, you got Kurapika heavy in the game. Killer Zodic heavy up in there. Hisoka heavy in the game.
Shout out to Hisoka.
Freaks, Corolla, Lucifer. You got plenty of dudes heavy. And Gon, I mean, I don't like his character, but that doesn't make him a horrible character. He's bearable. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the series, but there are elements about Naruto that I like. Same thing with Bleach. There are characters I like. Can't stand. Oh, Kurosaki Ichigo is arguably the worst protagonist of all time.
But you still watch the show?
I still kept up the manga I started reading pretty much most of the thousand year Blood War arc, yeah.
So why
Because that dude.
Why do you watch the show if you don't like Ichigo, who's the main character who you're gonna see in every chapter in every episode?
Oh, hey, what did Kubo do? Kubo took Ichigo out of most of the arc.
I didn't know that. I don't watch movies, so let's keep that in mind.
And Naruto, look, I can overlook foolishness when you got the greatness of Uchiha Madara. So, when I'm watching these characters get punked and pwned, hey, while so many were raging about Bleach, and Juha just putting that work on Ichigo, I was loving that. You don't know. Oh my gosh, it felt so good. It felt like almost to the level of the first time you saw Luffy punch that celestial dragon. That was literally the most satisfying moment I've ever had for a brief moment in fiction.
You have no idea. The only reason I was really satisfied because I wanted to do it too.
Hell yeah. I think that is like the only one of the very few universal things that anyone who's ever watched or read anything's ever come across. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, I felt for that, so I felt for him."
It was more satisfying because I marathon One Piece up into that part, so I really hated this semester at that point.
Oh, I marathon that. You already know.
Like I really like Celestial Dragons.
Luffy, one of the attractions bringing that up and talking about real life is because Luffy's able to do, unfortunately, what I can't do. And if Luffy has business to take care of, he can handle it. He can throw them hands. I can't just throw them hands. I'm not saying throwing hands. And again, I'm not saying like I like the fight. No, don't get it twisted. But there are certain situations where throwing hands would be the best course of action. And in fact, I've had multiple elements where I've had to confront physically to get results. Because dudes kept trying, the authority figures weren't doing anything, and it was not going to stop. So you know what? Something had to be done physically. And it was. In most of those situations, either they resulted in friendships, or at least some kind of respect was given, or they knew not to screw with me anymore. That's some manly stuff right there. Luffy, what happens? Luffy, manly, savage. Say there was Zoro, but especially Luffy. This dude doesn't care who you are. Think about that. He doesn't care. He doesn't see race. He doesn't see class. He doesn't see anything. He doesn't see sex. He's not judgmental. He's a simple man. He just want to go freely. He don't care who you are, man, at all. And he ain't stupid like a lot of people think. He does some stupid stuff like we all do. Think about that. People also forget how young he actually is. Pre-time skip, he was 17. Post-time skip, he is 19 years old. Come on now. People were giving Jameis Winston passes. Why? Because Jameis Winston was 19 years old. That's a freshman in college. Think about that. Many folks these days don't even have kids. They're not married, nothing like that, at 19. This man out here is a captain. Most of his crew is as old, if not older than him. This young man, because he's not a kid, he's a young man, he gets respect from old timers, dudes who've been on the seas for a long time. That's part of the reason why dudes like Joker and Sir Crocodile come out his head, because he's like, yo, you a young blood. Mm-hmm. Luffy is relatable to me in so many ways. I don't come from a, well-to-do, very important family. I don't come from, the biggest city. I come from like this little old rinky-dink. I'm not expecting, nothing's expected out of my life. People don't think about the totality of the character of Luffy. They see how goofy he is and whatnot. But when it's time to handle business, what's up? I mean, what is there to hate about his character? I've never understood that.
I don't know.
You tell me that.
People probably don't think of that. I don't hate Luffy. Luffy's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
People just don't. They probably just don't think that deeply about One Piece.
They don't think that deep about anything.
Facts. But most people who criticize One Piece aren't fans of One Piece.
Or what?
Aren't fans of One Piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah, guys like Uber, I read 50 volumes of One Piece and I dropped it. Man, what? Number one. Hold on. I have to address that foolishness.
How many chapters is 50 volumes?
Yo, that 50 volumes, he says he's dropped it about Thriller. That would have to be around Thriller Bark. Do you understand? Now, I'm not saying if you can't stand something, keep it going. But dog, 50, it took you 50 volumes. Some people say they didn't like One Piece in the early. Like, I got a friend. I told her that Alabama, she stopped at Alabama. I said, you just beginning the story, really. Because she is. But, okay, she dropped it. Fine. 50 volumes, Uber? 50?
Well, I had an excuse on why I did continue with One Piece after the first couple episodes. That's only because when I first started watching One Piece, it was on 4Kids TV. Sanji didn't even have a cigarette. He had a lollipop in his mouth. So it was based. My distaste for One Piece was based on anime, not the story.
Everybody says that, right? 4Kids. And I watched some 4Kids, and I think there was some Funimation like mixed in there. And I didn't get to see it consistently. The last thing I remember with Luffy, I just happen to remember One Piece. This is how much of an impact it left on me. And actually, it helped me get me into more with anime and manga, especially manga. I was never going to read manga except if it wasn't for One Piece, because I want to get it. I'm like, I happen to like manga. Let me go check out other series. And I fell in love with manga even more than anime. Anyways, to that, everybody talk about the 4Kids. Let me tell you what I remember, right? People want to say, One Piece was just that. I don't know what series they were watching. I don't know what they've watched. I've watched a lot of things. Here you had in the first episode or so, this young man, this boy, whatever you want to call him, is busting out of a barrel. And also, the anime screwed it up because they should have just went how the story was, where episode 4 was actually chapter 1. And that whole, they screwed up with Alvida and Kobe and all. That whole thing was different in the manga. Anyways, he comes out of this barrel, right? This dude has these crazy rubber abilities. Then you get to episode 2 with Zoro. Do I need to really go into Zoro? Come on, bro. Luffy doesn't know in Luffy's idiocy, right? They say. He grabs 3 swords. This man said, yo, I grabbed all of them because what would you have done? That makes sense. I don't know what he got. I grabbed every one of them. Makes sense to me. At the quick time, Luffy, who we also never see thought bubbles. I've never seen this ever before. We only see his actions and his words. We never. Oda did that intentionally. Anyways, we see Zoro. All of them are mine. 3 swords. The man sticks a blade in his mouth. What? The man that survived the month. Manly. That got me hooked. And then, from the initial, and then eventually you get to Arlong Park, Alabasta, in his lobby. In various progressions. But I'm like, what do y'all, I don't know what series people were watching.
I never got that far.
I never got hooked. I'm like, okay, there were parts that was slow, but you had manly stuff throughout.
When I marathon One Piece, I didn't look back.
No, I didn't either.
I caught up with the series so fast. Shout out to King Recon for making me go back to One Piece.
Recon greatness. I caught up One Piece. Actually, One Piece. Not only was it anime manga, One Piece was the reason I got involved with the YouTube anime and manga community because I had no one to talk to. I was marathoning all this. I caught up, and I
I
had no
can't
one to
say that.
talk to.
I could say I don't remember what series is the reason I got into. Well, I was on YouTube just on YouTube,
Yeah,
but
I've been on YouTube.
yeah, I've been on YouTube, but in terms of making videos, it probably was One Piece and stuff.
Because I mean, Dragon Ball was talked about to some degree. All the videos were Naruto at the time. See, that's what it was. All the videos were Naruto, and there was some Bleach content from some. And I didn't know what really Bleach, whatever. And Naruto, I wasn't a fan for a multitude of reasons at the time. But
And
One Piece,
it was because the things that people were talking about in the series, I just thought they were missing certain things. Like
yep,
I feel like
that's part of I started making
I could
videos.
explain things better than they could.
Yep, that's really, that's what it is. I'm like, yo, and I watched a number of guys. I mean, I'm talking back then when things were just simpler and just different. Forever, there was Sawyer, King of Lightning, Phone, Uber, Giga Talks, if I recall, that was his name. Oh no,
Yeah.
Yoshihama Game Talk. Sure, I'm taking it way back. Cold. Let me tell you when I joined, how old I am in this game. Forever had like 10,000 to 20,000. King of Lightning had like 2,500. Sawyer had like maybe 2 to 5,000. Code had like 2,500 at best. Phone was maybe 1,000 eventually. Shoot, Double Four did a meteoric rise. Like Double Four went from like 2,500 to like 7,500 within like a couple. It was short. All I'm saying is I've been around. So and so to see things the way things are, hell, I remember kept hearing about Recon before, yo, and then find out Recon's really chill. But I didn't even know Recon was. Everybody referred to him like he was a big dude. He wasn't. As far as subs goes, so you know the community was. Oh man, dudes were coming at, and then dudes started coming at dudes' heads. The Flame Wars. Oh man, the Flame Wars. Yeah, the Flame Wars. I don't. Hey, I don't even know if you were around at that time.
Nah.
2012, man. Oh man.
Definitely wasn't around 2012. I was around, but I wasn't making videos.
And in the day that will forever live, there was a couple days that will forever live in infamy.
I came into the community around 2013.
Yeah, that second one that lived was Fairy Tale Chapter 327. Forever will live in infamy. But the first one, I've never seen. This is one of the most polarized. I've never seen anything like it in my life. The internet, not just the YouTube anime and manga community, the internet. The reveal of Toby. Oh, this people, if you think Sabo's reveal, oh no, that doesn't hold a candle. I mean, it was up there, but this right here,
Yeah, the reveal of Toby was crazy.
I mean, chapter 784 of One Piece was hot. That right there was dog. And I mean, a lot of people with 795, but the reveal of Toby, that was one of the most you had people quit Naruto. Straight up. You had people ready to burn a whatever. You had some people pissed. I mean, a lot of people was fine with it. Some people had called it. Yo, this subject was so toxic. You had people coming at people's heads for thinking it was Obito. They know he's dead. What are you talking about? You had people thinking about it, thinking it was, yo, this right here, bruh. I think that's part of what made Naruto's end the way it was with the fandom, because it was one of the most volatile. Like, I thought some people was gonna kill some people over this. I think that's personally what got me in the community. I'm like, damn, this. I was watching some videos, cool. I think I saw that and I'm like, let me at least pay attention to Naruto, and that helped me get me back into, actually caring about Naruto and really caring, actually, eventually really actually getting into the series to a degree. Because I'm like, really? This? What the? I've never seen anything like this. I was, shoot, what have I been about? 17, 18, somewhere around there at the time. I was like, what? was crazy, man. Those were the days.
Yep.
But I'm about to head out though.
Wait, real quick. So did you read the last chapter of One Piece?
Of course. What you mean? I posted. You already know what you thought this was.
So about the whole Big Mom saying, when she was talking about Goldie, saying she has an ace in a hole. What do you think about that?
No, it was pudding.
That's what you think? The ability to hear all things?
No, not hear all things. It was literally pudding. It's because of the third eye. Now, I don't know what the third eye. When people are pissed because the Nico, this is what I was referring to earlier. Oh, Nico Robin, she's not. Why is this a problem? It makes sense that there's an entire. I like that there's another race. I want to know more about these races, but perfect sense. Why wouldn't there? I mean, you have the Kozeki clan that built the junk. You have O'Hara. They were studying. They were scholars. Like, why is a three-eyed clan a problem? I don't. Nico Robin shouldn't. Again, she probably has her father or something out there anyway. So it's no issue to me.
What
I
about
want multiple ways to find One Piece.
What about Big Mom's interest in Brooke?
Hey, Big Mom is strange to say the least.
So what do you think? Is Brooke gonna get on her good side? Like, what do you think is gonna happen with Brooke?
Bro, it's still hashtag You're the Soul King. Brooke gonna pull off some OG. Brooke gonna pull off some savage. He gonna pull off something. Man's a savage. Pedro's a savage. If him and Jimmy join, you got five savages. It used to be just Luffy and Zoro, but you got Brooke now. Give me Pedro and Jinbei. I wish Kairos, but it is what it is.
He called Big Mom young lady.
Yeah, too savage. It makes sense, but it's still too savage.
Yeah, Brooke is old as dirt, so
he's like 90. He's 90.
Brooke's been around. But if he's 90, was he around during the Void Century?
No, the Void Century was 1,900 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. But so I want to know what Brooke knows that he hasn't been saying.
Him and Robin. Nico Robin needs to start speaking. Oh, and why has nobody asked Zoro about his? That's the first thing I would. Second is Usopp. What happened? You broke up. Oh, Zoro, what happened to you?
Yeah, I still don't know why they didn't ask him that. Luffy, out of all people, should have asked him that.
No, Luffy. Yeah, you would think, but it makes sense. You would think Usopp, because usually Usopp, or maybe not. I mean, Usopp of all people, you would think would ask him. Nope. Or either that, or Oda just hasn't revealed it. You know how Oda and Mitsutoshi and them dudes be doing.
Mm-hmm.
They about to ask a long time ago, and then Oda going to conveniently slide that in there later. Because it just really no one's gonna ask why you missing an eye, bro. No one's asked where y'all been, Robin. And Brooke knows about the bench smoke too.
Wasn't she? Yeah, that's true. Wasn't she saying something about Vegapunk, Robin, during the time skip? Hello? I think you dub disconnected. All right. I'm going to leave your comments down below, and I'll get to them later.